How about that timing, though? Just right on time. Hello, one and all. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are here with some land battles with caps featuring Team BBB, the BBB clan, facing off against a bunch of challengers, including Yumeis are from RTK and Gojira, both of whom are, of course, creators of this mod. So, let's get into it. We're going to be featuring a series of battles. Each battle is worth 1 point. If it's a 1v1, 2v2s are worth 1.5 points. So we'll see how the sort of competition gets on. It's in the classic clan war type format. Again, a series of games worth points, and we'll kind of keep track as we go along. Let's see here. Is it, okay, should be all good now. There we go. Yes, okay. Just making sure we're all good on my end. Let's take a look at the builds. We've got Will Francesco versus the Central Scrutinizer up first on the Nuln Outskirts map. Looking absolutely fantastic. Really, like, professional quality, honestly. Let's take a look at the builds, though. So we've got Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw leading the way for the Ogres. Some Crushers with great weapons, including the Regiment of Renown. Some Saber-Tusk packs as well. Three Crushers with great weapons. It's pretty serious. And the rest is going to be all Noblars for support. And then, yeah, the one Bull Duel weapon and some Saber-Tusks for the Vampire Counts of Central Scrutinizer here. This is a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord here. We've got some Vargeist. We've got Necromancer, Skeleton Spearman backline with a front line of zombies, and some Blood Knights. So yeah, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, this is the Land Battles with Caps mod. Basically, it's just land battles with caps, basically, to enforce attacking rules more or less without the need for stringent rule sets. That also has unit caps from the fruit rules built in, I believe, so it's a more strict than your typical, you know, domination. Basically anything goes. Unit caps, not quite, but pretty close. Welcome, welcome one and all. Yes, ready to get started? Yes. Yes, yes. We are all set on my end, and things are looking good. Yeah, these maps are very good quality, definitely. And, of course, definitely offer a lot of great gameplay. This map in particular, you do have some broken up terrain here, which kind of slopes gradually down to a lower ground area over here. Actually, kind of reminds me of one of the minor settlement maps you see for the Empire, but yeah, it is a tiny bit offset in terms of the, I guess that it's because we see only the one side's Vanguard deployment zone, but yeah, you have some unpassable terrain here, a couple little destroyed tower and building here, which is definitely interesting. This little village also provides another piece of impassable terrain, but for the most part, it's pretty open, which is great. Definitely is really nice. Let's see. The Ogres definitely have quite a bit of AP anti-large here, which is going to be nasty to deal with. Crushers are quite strong. I'm curious what the Vampire Counts can do here. I mean, obviously the Blood Dragon significantly debuffing their stats will mean they're not going to trade super well in a sustained combat, but their mass will allow them to just get in and do a ton of damage on that initial phase. Will also mean that the Blood Dragon's going to have to be super careful about when and where he lands. But, hey, Poison Ducky, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Yes, let's see what we got here. This big old Slaughtermaster just peg-legging it across here. Looking fantastic as ever. Ready to come eat some pineapple on pizza, because Ogres are like that. Noblars with their tiny little pink feet. Never noticed how pink their feet are. I guess maybe it's just this lighting in particular, but anyway. Yeah, Vampire is very slowly approaching here, being very patient, wanting to keep everything at the speed of the zombies, more or less, not to get too far ahead. These Blood Knights, definitely very important. 2 Blood Knights, 2 Vargeist, so they got their work cut out for them. The flying of the Vargeist, you would think, and the Blood Dragon allows them to kind of dictate on the Crushers, right? Hopefully they can charge the Crushers without getting charged directly, but we'll see. Possibly set up a lane for rear charge by the Blood Knights. That would be a pretty idealized scenario, and you could probably kill the Crushers pretty quickly as a result. But let's see here. The Ogres are just going to stay in somewhat of a defensive position, not really wanting to overextend any of their Crushers to get punished by the counterattack here by the Vampire Counts, which definitely makes sense. That said, I'm not sure. I think probably the infantry fight, I mean, Templars are not going to beat Undeads, probably because they just run away, I would imagine. But we'll see. We do have this one unit of Bulls here deployed to kind of mix things up. Oh, that's a risky dive, though, by the Blood Dragon right off the bat into some trappers. And, yeah, it's looking like it will be able to get away in time for the Crushers. And the Saber-Tusks arrive just barely. Wow, that was close. And well-timed with the Spears as well, so they don't get hit too hard by the impact of that Crusher charge. We'll also see some zombies summoned up in the back to kind of delay their retreat here. And yeah, hopefully the Saber-Tusks will be taken offline by this, but another dive here by the Dragon. Just trying to pull those Crushers into an unfavorable position. You can see the Blood Knights are here for support. We've also got both the Vargeists in now for potential rear charge. The other Crushers are quickly reorganizing to get to that flank, but Central Scrutinizer just focusing hard initially, trying to take out this one unit of Crushers. But Will's going to come in here and kind of close the door and maybe rear charge in here with the Sky Striders into the back of these Blood Knights. That would probably be pretty strong, and it would kind of prevent the Blood Knights from really escaping here. They are now stuck between a rock and a Crusher place. So we'll see. Could be a tough time for them, but the Blood Dragon also is in here mostly surrounded by Crushers. The Vargeists definitely need to charge in immediately and try and get some damage and bail out the Blood Dragon, because right now he's taking pretty significant damage. I'm also not sure if the Helm of Discord's on cooldown or not, but now would be a pretty ideal time to use that as well. Surrounded by the Crushers, try and get rear charges with the Vargeists. At least they're able to terrify away some of those Saber-Tusks. More Blood Knights coming over to respond, so both players just investing very heavily here. I will note, critically for the Vampire Counts, that neither of the Corpse Carts are over here. So he's not getting any Unholy Lodestone effect passive healing on this critical kind of cavalry engagement. Probably it's going to go in Ogre's favor. We'll see. Maybe a little bit early to call, but yeah, certainly the Blood Knights, Vargeists in here teaming up. They've got some zombie support, and one unit of Crushers gets terrified almost immediately. Well, not almost immediately, but wow, they actually got almost heal capped immediately too. That's pretty interesting. They took a huge amount of burst damage and do get routed there, but the Sky Striders are still pretty healthy. We've also still got one more unit of Crushers, but oh man, they are getting swarmed. So I immediately eat my words. Definitely too early to call, and we'll see. They're not looking great. The Crushers don't have the best sustained combat stats. They really rely on that mass and charge to a pretty large degree. Of course, they'll still hit very hard with their massive anti-large bonus of 30, but still, there's that Helm of Discord being saved until a pretty decisive moment, and finally we've got kind of a full engagement here with everything, you know, full power, and the Crushers are still surviving, interestingly enough. I mean, the one unit is gone, and certainly the supporting Saber-Tusks are having a hard time, but it's interesting. I think the Vampire Counts, yeah, it's definitely balanced. So power-wise, they're ahead. Army damage value is about even, which is not good for Ogres because the Vampire Counts have so much more healing. But get a beautiful shot of these low-tier troops slugging it out here in the trenches in this mainline fight that we don't care about because there's, like, you know, 10,000 value on each side in this massive mobile side engagement here. So let's keep the focus where the focus should be. Just admire as these Crushers continue to grind it out, and they're definitely grinders. I mean, with the Ogre healing, they can hold out for quite a long time. Although this one unit, Terrified, is getting now chased by the Vargeists. They still have all their unit models online? Yeah, that's tough. They're just barely starting to drop a unit model there. So, that said, the Blood Knights, let's check in with them. One unit is getting pretty low. They might actually pop here to these Crushers. We'll see. Another unit is doing okay. They're taking some damage. The Vargeists also have taken some pretty serious damage as well, but the heal cap crushers coming back over here for another round. Oh man, yeah, they're gonna finish off these Blood Knights here. That frostbite will prevent them from being able to get away. Mainline fight, I mean, the Noblars are actually trading okay. The Trappers used up all their ammunition and probably traded fairly cost effectively, so we'll see if these other Noblars can get in there, maybe get some rear charges, start to pop the leadership of those units. But yeah, the Slaughtermaster is quite vulnerable right now. If I were Central Scrutinizer, I'd probably just try and snipe the Slaughtermaster at this point, try and finish off the leadership of the Ogres, and really just kind of terrify away the rest of the Crushers rather than having to fight them in a sustained combat. Because, I mean, let's see, the one Vargeist is chasing off this one unit of Crushers, which is really, really nice. That's going to be fantastic. The other ones here, though, I mean, we've got this one Blood Knight and the one Vargeist. I don't know. I guess with all this infantry support, the thing about zombies is normally they can bog down cavalry quite well, right? But in this case, they cannot. Because Crushers have so much mass, they can easily just run through infinite numbers of zombies. And we also get a nice dismember here to debuff the speed of everything. Just really make sure those Blood Knights and other units cannot escape. But I'm not sure that Ogres are really teetering on army losses right now, so they're going to need to make whatever play very quickly. Looks like, I mean, if they can hold, all these Noblars are just barely holding onto their leadership. So things are on a razor's edge right now, but still potentially winnable. I don't know. With the Slaughtermaster routing, it's going to be a big problem. We'll see. These Saber Tusks come in at a pretty clutch time. We're able to kind of chase those Vargeists away from this unit of Trappers, which is also getting some pretty clutch volleys here. So, I mean, I don't know. The Ogres have just a faintest glimmer of hope here, I think. If they can bail out this Slaughtermaster and keep him alive at the very least, even if he routs, I mean, it'll be bad, but if they can keep him alive, that will make a huge difference. The Sky Strider's desperately trying to keep Blood Dragon on the ground here, I think. But let's see. I think they're getting distracted by the Vargeist at this point. Unit of Vargeist is pretty much done. One unit of Crushers also went to now help the infantry fight. I guess they kind of chased the Blood Knights over here, but I don't know. The Ogres were teetering on army losses there, but I think it's almost slightly fraudulent. Like, I feel like their odds are a little bit better than what the balance of power would have you believe. Certainly the low leadership of the Noblars is a problem, but they're going to actually end up cleaning up quite a bit of value in this fight. And now this Sky Strider here gets another critical Butcher heal, which is going to do a significant heal, obviously fully refresh their vigor as well, which is super important in a late game fight like this. That said, the Slaughtermaster, if he gets fully killed here, which he is definitely going to, just a matter of time, that could send a lot of these Noblars over the edge. So I don't know. The Ogres looked like they had a glimmer of hope there, but we'll see. Yeah, with the death of the Slaughtermaster, let's take a wide view and see if we get a big chain route across the field here. Sky Strider still holding on for the time being. They're just kind of bogged down in some summoned zombies right now, but we do get a huge chain route in this pocket over here. All these Noblars just immediately route. The question is, will it actually matter? If the Sky Striders can hold their leadership and not succumb to army losses during this time, a lot of this stuff should come back. I mean, we'll see. The vampires are not actually fast enough to chase it off, but their leadership might be too low at this point. Yeah, see, we start to see already some trappers coming back. So we'll see if the Ogres are able to stabilize this. It's really up to the Sky Striders at this point. Got some stuff starting to come back here and there. A couple of Crushers come back right here. It looks like those Vargeists and the Blood Dragon are just going straight for this wounded unit of Crushers, try and finish them off, but Will is going to be afforded an opportunity to kind of regroup here a little bit. Central Scrutinizer is trying his best to keep up the pressure, but doesn't want to get caught too far out of position away from supporting units. Obviously, that unit of Sky Striders could definitely crush them, but Dismember's used maybe a little bit prematurely here when the units are still in the air, and they're not going to suffer much as a result of that. A little bit of Invocation of the Heck on Blood Dragon himself. Very smart in this late game. Just top off that big, expensive single entity that will be very critical to win this engagement. Helm of Discord, obviously, and just, you know, rear charge, but I don't know. I'm not completely loving the chances here, and the cap will come into play to a degree. It looks like Central Scrutinizer is going to pull back and just defend the cap for now, which is fine. Actually gives Will a chance to kind of breathe for a minute. reorganize his forces, maybe try and get some kind of a push going. The problem is you really don't want to spread out too much. The dragon will be able to just easily smash any exposed Noblars. So... well, let's see here. Crushers are going to make their play. Honestly, a play with the Crushers would be just to charge straight in and start running units over, because what's really going to stop you, you know? A rear charge from some Vargeist, you can immediately turn around and punish them. You've got this secondary unit of Crushers here to try and you know, maybe get a counter rear charge. So, yep. Sky Strider's just straight up the pipe here. We're going to see a nice breath attack from the dragon. Does some damage, for sure. But now, here comes the Helm of Discord. Secondary wave of Crushers moving in. You can see the Sky Striders attempt to move away to kind of lessen the impact of that charge. I would imagine they'll probably turn around and charge back in then. Got the Noblars charging in. It's so close. I guess, did army losses get removed, actually, from Land Battles of the Caps? I think they actually did. I've been talking about army losses like it's a thing, but I'm pretty sure Gojira can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong on that, but I'm 99% sure that's the case. I don't know, though. Sky Striders actually just kind of don't do a lot in that engagement. A lot of the Noblars just immediately get terrified away, which is kind of to be expected, but Massacres popped here for the Sky Striders, so they cause terror. They cannot be terrified away, but they're just taking damage from the dragon, and they really didn't get that good of an engagement on him for a surround. Now, finally, they're getting some fairly solid hits, but the Vargeists are able to get a really nice rear charge. It looks like Central Scrutinizer is going to finish that one off. Wow. Out for now. Okay, so... yeah, I was going to say, I think army losses probably would have popped for the Ogres earlier, but they definitely were able to put together a nice final push there, and it almost ended up working out, but Central Scrutinizer, probably one of the best, if not the best, Land Battles Vampire Counts player. I've even told he knows how to beat Kugath, which is a very challenging thing to accomplish, but there he's able to hold off a nasty, nasty Ogres build. Will, despite all that, fought back hard and got some crazy value on those Crushers, at least 2 of them. And then the supporting Noblars also, I would imagine, do a really nice job as well. But yeah, that Blood Dragon, man, lots of value on him. The Blood Knights also get some insane value as well. Love the pick of the Vargeists, even if they don't quite pay for themselves. Tactically, it was really good to have them here. Spear Skeletons also do a great job. And then, yeah, Corpse Cards, very important to have. Definitely would always recommend so that your other low-tier units can pay for themselves. So, GG indeed. Wow. So, yeah, Central Scrutinizer are going to pick up a point for Team Big Cheese. And pop over here. Is it 1 point per game, or is it 1 point per match? I guess it's a... I should check here. Points for winning is 1. Okay, so it's a best of 2. I don't understand what that means. I guess we'll see. Let me just clarify real quick. Okay, sorry, just wanted to clarify real quick on the rules of the scoring. I actually didn't. Probably should have clarified all that before, but I didn't, so there you go. 1 point per game. Okay. Not really best of anything. They just each play 2 games. Okay. I get it. Gotcha. Okay. Just wanted to clarify. So in that case, yes, Central Scrutinizer picks up a point for Team Big Cheese. And then we got to switch up the factions here. All right, get Tzeentch for Will, and we'll get Empire for Central Scrutinizer. Fantastic. Fantastic. Love me some Empire action. Against Tzeentch, too, is an interesting matchup. Yeah. The big birds can be tough to deal with, for sure, whatever variety they choose to bring. Lord Sniping is definitely very real in this matchup. So, on the Mountains of Truth. Let's get that updated as well. Excellent. Well, that's fine. Okay. Alignment there. Okay, cool. All set on the graphics. Yeah, I'm planning on hosting some stuff. I was hoping to do some in the spring, but unfortunately, situation with my car happened, and I need to buy a new car, so unfortunately I don't have any money to put up for prizes like I thought I was going to. I mean, we'll see. Maybe... Ooh, just smacked my mic stand real hard. I apologize about that. We'll see. I mean, hopefully I can get things figured out. I would like to be able to host some tournaments with like a very good amount of prize money, like talking $1,000 or $2 maybe total prize money. I need to reach out to some sponsors to potentially see what we can get on that front, but yeah, I will be hosting some tournaments, open tournaments with the Land Battles Caps mod going forward, so definitely watch for that. If you're not on my Discord, be sure to join. There should be a link down in the description, but yeah, especially when the car issues are no fault of your own, it's because, you know, the manufacturer chose not to install any security devices, and that a TikTok trend took off where it became evident that it was very easy to steal said brand of cars, and so the insurance for said brand of cars, like, you know, tripled or whatever. That's fine. The day and age we live in. It's just fantastic. But anyway, Will's just locking up his army picks here, and we should be all set to go. Gojira's car got totaled. That sucks, man. Car issues, not fun. It's the best, Goops. It's fantastic, actually. I'm definitely not salty at all about this. Not in the slightest. Somebody decided to merge into your left rear tire. Nice. The big brain move, honestly. They attacked your flank, and I think it did fine, but... Yes. So thankfully, my wonderful fiance has been letting me use her car, been carpooling places, and just kind of coordinating, you know. My significant other, thankfully, has been very understanding and helpful, so hasn't been too bad, honestly. I mean, if it was a really bad situation, I would just bite the bullet and re-up on the insurance, even though it is exorbitantly expensive for what I'm paying for. But it's okay. Their situation's fine right now. It's doable. Devastating flanker. Yeah. Oh. Right. Alright, so up next we're going to have Yume's versus Strat game. Just waiting for Will to finish up his army picks here, and we'll proceed with this. So basically each player is playing 2 matches, and each player is playing 2 games. Each game is worth 1 point, so potential for each player to get a point in each series. Let's see how they get on now. Empire versus Tzeentch, and already build's looking pretty wild. Kairos, Double Knight, Triple Warrior. We've got 2 Screamers, 2 Furies, and 5 Marauders up front. So interesting, just full melee build with Kairos and, you know, Hammer and Anvil with mobility and some mainline infantry. Boris coming in hot with a cannon. He's got 4 Empire Knights, 2 Huntsmen, a mix of Empire infantry, swordsmen, a couple spearmen, 1 halberdier, Sigmar's Sons. We've got, Lore of Light. Very interesting. Curious to see what that's going to entail. We're also on Realm of Tzeentch map. Just looks, again, just fantastic. Really have to hand it to the modders here. Man, look at that wall with the gate in the back with the hands on there. Claws. Looks very, reminds me of Ice Crown, I'm not gonna lie. We've got this big portal right here too. Man, this is cool. Very, very cool. Tzeentch defending their home turf. Another portal on this other side. Oh yeah, I love the Realm of Tzeentch. Absolutely spectacular. Hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome. Yeah, I have to hand it to the map makers. Goji, you should send this out to all of your compatriots. That you guys are doing some really, really nice work. Honestly, like these maps, I'm not going to say they put Creative Assembly to shame, but they definitely put Creative Assembly to shame. You know what I mean? In terms of multiplayer-specific designed maps. I really like this one. I like this kind of big ring hill, too. It makes direct line of fire interesting. So, like, this cannon's going to have to push up and top of the ridge to be able to fire in. And Central Scrutinizer will be able to close a decent amount of distance during that time. Hey, what's up? Iceni Raider. That's a great name, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. Map makers are goated for sure. Well, they've been doing it for a while now, right? For Turin's map pack and now for this. So there's a lot of really skilled map makers out there now in the community. Oh man, look at what is that? What are those? Anyway, battle's getting started. I'm here staring at the terrain pieces. But yeah, cannon's got to come forward, although if we look at its max range, it's still, I mean, even when it gets to the top of the hill, it's going to be at about max range anyway, which is a great design, honestly, for the map. I really like that. But Boris is going to come forward, doing some initial scouting. Definitely doesn't want to take the engagement in the air with the Screamers around, but with the Huntsmen lurking nearby, Silver Bullets too, we'll be able to get some pretty devastating volleys. Problem is they themselves are quite vulnerable to getting dived by the Furies, so it's going to be a little bit of cat and mouse here, I think, initially. Kairos might try and start spamming that blue fire early. I'd probably go after the Light Wizard, honestly. Cannon's going to shoot the Chaos Knights first. Interesting. I mean, I guess they're the unit you can potentially kill the most models of, and they're also the most expensive unit you can shoot out here. It does look like blue fire is going to be used early on Boris, who's able to mostly dodge. A couple of the missiles end up hitting him, but a lot of the damage is wasted, and of course he can also regenerate that damage without any problem. So the one little missile still following him around all last and sad, like, please, sir, please. Nope.
The Emperor will save us. Look out!
Dive in the realm of chaos. Ah, home sweet home. The realm of Tzeentch, certainly. I mean, this is almost exactly what my house looks like, actually. But anyway. Yeah, Cannon's making some nice, solid contact there. Already killing a few models. So, good stuff. Silver Bullets get some nice volleys on those Furies directly. I mean, it makes sense. Why not just attack the thing that threatens you most? But it's not going to be a lot of damage. And the Marauders are coming in, so those Silver Bullets need to get out of there as soon as possible. But they're doing some nice barrier damage to those flying units. He doesn't have fast follow-up, not going to matter too much, but Chaos Knights kind of being overexposed a little bit. I mean, they do have supporting mobility up in the sky, but Boris is kind of distracting for the time being. Let's see how this plays out. I'm going to keep a nice wide view. You have a net initially on these Screamers so that they can just get gunned down by the Silver Bullets. You see these Knights coming here to block this lane as well. It looks like the Chaos Knights were maybe going to try and shoot through this gap and get on those Silver Bullets, but instead they're just going to charge through the back of their own troops into the Sigmar Suns. Not sure about that. Over here, both players are kind of not really microing. Got other things to worry about here, but Screamers did eventually dive down to those Empire Knights. The Chaos Knights also dive in. Spearmen supporting for the Empire. Both players investing fairly heavily in that engagement. The Furies drop down. They're going to try and get on the Hammer of Witches. Central Scrutinizers. Empire Knights are in a position, but I think he actually issues the attack order on the wrong thing, which is pretty bad. It's definitely going to result in Hammer of Witches being taken out, which is pretty problematic. I mean, it has done some damage, but definitely hasn't paid for itself. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to bail out the crew here with this charge a little bit late on the dollar, but still will be fairly effective. Huntsmen also getting charged by those Chaos Knights, so they kind of just push through. They're taking some pretty serious damage, though. They're getting some damage done, but I don't know how effective it's going to be in the long term. Really nice block, too, by Central Scrutinizer. That was beautiful with those Empire Knights to make sure the Chaos Knights didn't get onto the Silver Bullets. Will's doing his best to just kind of push everything through to try and get on those ranged units. He did manage to shatter the Hammer of Witches, which is really nice. Furies can now move on to try and take out maybe some of those Huntsmen or other units, but the Empire's collapsing on their own backline, push back the mobility of Tzeentch fairly nicely, and these Chaos Knights are starting to run out of steam as the Halberdiers move in for the Empire. These Empire Knights, much smaller, under the banner of Nordland, similar color scheme. I absolutely love that, I have to say. But Boris is supporting and should be able to shore things up and even terrify away the Chaos Knights. So definitely a shameful display by the Knights of Tzeentch on their home turf, running away from a Griffin. But another blue fire is going to come in. It'll hit Boris for some damage, but like I said, I think the blue fire probably just sniped the Light Wizard like immediately, and then maybe just use the rest to go after cavalry, honestly. I don't know. I mean, Boris, his ability to heal, I just think makes him not the best target. He also has very high mobility, which allows him to dodge, as we saw, but Kairos is in a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure why the Empire Knights didn't just stay on him right there, even with the Chaos Knights pursuing, but instead they choose to collapse on the Chaos Knights with the Halberdiers in tow. That should actually spell the end for both of these units. Kairos still was struggling to get in the air, eventually does, but I mean, he's not ultimately that threatening at this point. Definitely will die in melee to Boris, and he has magic certainly left, but probably not enough to kill Boris fast enough to make a difference. So beautiful performance by Central Scrutinizer here with the Empire. Just stepping on Tzeentch's home turf and teaching him a lesson. I absolutely love it. Oh, yes. Yes, the Chaos Knights were indeed confused on which bird was killing them. Little did they know. Yeah, Boris, absolutely spectacular. Empire Knights are going to start kind of rear charging here. The Chaos Warriors will continue fighting. They've got decent enough leadership, and they were able to hold out fairly well here. But the infantry fight largely was a wash. It was just Empire's ability to kind of defend their backline against the rush of Tzeentch made all the difference in the world here. Oh, yeah. These little Halberdiers, I mean, little in comparison to the hulking warriors of Tzeentch, right? And then you got Big Boris up in the air. Looks like we're going to see a nice big bombardment from Tzeentch. Do quite a bit of damage to these Empire troops here, but yeah, there's not really a lot left for Tzeentch besides Kairos. Really, he's the only thing at the moment. I mean, I guess there's this one unit of Chaos Warriors here. A couple units here also have some HP, but Silver Bullets are in a position to fire. Although they are going to get inundated by Warriors here. At least they got a little bit of damage. Yeah, not sure what's going on over there with that army ability. But anyway, Boris gets snared up in the air? No, looks like maybe he got the Gaze of Fate, but it's Oracle of Eternity, in fact, on Kairos, try and give himself some damage resistance. A little bit of a net on those warriors as well, and then the silver bullets pull back. They're going to open fire on Kairos. Oh yeah, love to see that nice line of guns just shooting straight up into the sky. The magical bullets ripping apart poor Kairos. Fancy animations ain't gonna save you now, bird boy. That's right, the Empire bird is here. Magical ammunition bullets at his side. And that'll be enough. Definitely will be enough. Kairos is kind of making his last stand here. Chaos Knights come back for one more inglorious charge against the Empire Knights. Halberdiers in support. Very appropriate, I feel, to have a unit of Halberdiers, considering the sort of provincial regiment in campaign for Nordland, I believe, is a Halberdier unit, I want to say. Been playing some Empire campaign on the side recently. A little bit of very unstable, way too much mods Empire campaign, which I definitely would not stream because it's not stable enough to stream, but it's fun in kind of little bursts here. But yeah, fantastic. Central Scrutinizer with a really nice Empire win over Tzeentch. Oh, are we good? Did we crash? Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, Empire just able to overpower on the field there. Silver Bullets getting some nice damage, as do the Huntsmen. Empire Knights able to trade fairly effectively across the board. Boris doing his thing. Yeah, I mean, state troops trading super cost effectively as well against Marauders, as is kind of traditional. For Tzeentch here, I mean, ultimately, the Chaos Knights, I kind of like to pick on the one hand, but on the other hand, I kind of don't. They just don't, even with the buffs, they still don't seem to perform great in my experience. I don't know. The Empire has enough numbers to kind of drag them out. Probably would have gone a little bit wider here with like some Forsaken and stuff. But anyway, yeah, fun stuff. Let's go on and get to the next battle as I update the scoreboard here. Go ahead and do this. And we'll be moving right along. Maybe. Okay, having some technical difficulties. Okay, let's try this here. Bear with me just a second, guys. Let's do this here. Sometimes these things happen. Okay, let's do this. All right, I'm in. Fantastic. Show mod list. Okay, so the mod is land battles with caps. That's it. In fact, I'll even do this. Here, let's do this. It's just land battles with caps. That's the mod. That's the whole mod. So if I come in here, go to the workshop. Then I can do this here. Okay, so here it is. That's the mod list. It's that mod right there. So basically what it means is that people can't draw kite or corner camp. Basically just, you know, builds tournament rules into the game so that you don't have to make rules judgments and things just flow much smoother in competitive multiplayer events. So that's the thing. Emaze looks like is dealing with the toddler. Okay, looks like he's on. Okay, so he's joining. Cool, cool, cool. Get to that shortly. And yeah, things are going good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your weekend. To be honest, mine has been very nice so far. Yesterday was pretty relaxing. Just played some, again, modded Empire campaign. That was quite a bit of fun, and yeah, it's crashing a lot, but still enjoyable. And yeah, just doing some stuff with my fiance. Enjoying the beautiful spring weather here. Is some minor flooding. We had a record snow year here in Utah, so there's a huge amount of snow that has to melt, and it's warming up very quickly. It's all melting at once. There's some flooding in some areas. I know they've been having like volunteer events where you can come and fill sandbags, and anyway, it's quite an event, but we definitely need the water, so it's great. And the weather is fantastic. I mean, I'm loving the warm weather personally, so. How many mods? Just that one. Yep, just that one. Yeah, it's great though. I mean, the majority of Utah was in like a severe drought before this year, and now a lot of it has kind of dissipated, right? I mean, we're not quite back up to where we need to be, but it was a really good water year. So hopefully, you know, the powers that be in the state utilize those resources wisely and put some away for future years and everything. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I've been really enjoying it personally. It was a great snow year too. I finally is teaching myself properly, getting taught by others how to snowboard. So yeah, I live in a state where we hosted the Winter Olympics, you know, known for having incredible ski resorts, like literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes from my house. They're world-class ski resorts. And I never knew how to snowboard until now, so it's on me. But anyway, enough about that. We're here now with Yumais versus Strat Game. I should probably update their factions real quick. Got High Elves. And we've got Dork Elves. Yes, perfect. Exactly as it should be. Speaking of high elves, Yumai's coming in here. He's got a princess on a moon dragon with high magic, so definitely getting very high here. You know, blaze it. We got a sun dragon to blaze it as well. Some reaver archers, some white lion infantry, Lothern sea guard, and rangers. So pretty standard stuff for the most part, besides, I guess, the high dragon. On the other side here, we've got a Supreme Sorceress of Dark. So, wow, very nice kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Why is my brain completely... Symmetry. There we go. Between these two builds, both kind of lore-specific casters on a dragon. Absolutely love it. We've also got Cairns of Cain, 2 Feral Manticores, Black Ark Corsairs, Witch Elves, and some Spears, and Sad Swords. We are on the Graveyard map, which is absolutely covered in gravestones. You would think it might count as, like, trees, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's just all kind of regular stuff. Oh yeah, the statues of Sigmar, of course, as well. These two little impassable terrain areas. Very interesting map. Definitely a very interesting map. I definitely forgot to update with the name of the map, but that's okay. Excellent. Excellent, yes. So the superior flying force here on paper is the Dark Elves, right? But of course Tempest is real and it's here, and if it's casted on this flying blob, it could hit all of these units at the same time. Granted, Soulstealer can also hit both of these flying units at the same time, but definitely the multi-model flying units, specifically the Karens, I guess, here, are much more vulnerable. And Feral Manticores can't heal, of course, whereas the Archmage can heal either herself or the Sun Dragon here, so it's definitely interesting. We'll see how this aerial engagement plays out, but some Reaver Archers moving in, perhaps to skirmish down a little bit on the Corsairs here, do some damage. Yeah, Corsairs don't have a ton of HP. It has some armor, but Lyrian Reavers will still be able to kind of pick away at them and get some value. Or they might move in and try and shoot the Kharens here. That would also be a very good target. Try and pick away some of their more squishy or low models. But Dark Riders hidden in the woods in the back there are going to deploy. We've got some more over here. They don't really have any targets to go after. I mean, maybe they could try and charge those Reavers, but probably just hold them in reserve for the time being. But here comes the Tempest. Oh yeah, gonna do a huge, probably not a huge amount of damage. I mean, the Tempest, damage of Tempest has been nerfed a bit over time, but a little bit of self-cast on Hand of Glory as well. We're gonna see Soul Stealer from the Dark Elves, so both players just investing in this big old air fight here. Once the magical effects wears off, we can get in and actually see what's going on to a degree. I mean, certainly it's still pretty hard to tell what's happening, but single entity fight is going a little bit against the Archmage here. She's caught 2v1 versus Dragon and the Manticore, so they're going to have to go in here and hard land very quickly to try and screen through some of this infantry. Looks like they are going to do so. We've also got the Reavers here. Ooh, they're all going to jump on the Reavers instead, which is an interesting call. I mean, I guess just nuke them straight, but that does mean they're going to be potentially, yeah, locked on the ground here while the one Manticore is still in the air, possibly 2v1. Let's see if Yumai's turns and fights there. Yeah, 2 big hits on the Manticore, and it won't take much to actually rout it off. High Elves also should be able to sustain through this a little bit, kind of move through screen with some of these Lothran Seaguard. The Kharens get routed off here, and the White Lions are able to block a lot of the infantry support. That said, again, 3v2. I'm probably going to give it to the 2 over the 3. But let's see, especially if all 3 of the Dark Elf single entities are focused on the Archmage here, which it looks like probably they are, whereas the Sun Dragon is not taking really any hits. But if this one Manticore can get routed quickly, it looks like, oh, but the damage actually gets switched onto the other Manticore and Dragon. Yeah, that Archmage is getting punished so heavily right now. Apotheosis is really not a very big burst of healing, so it's not going to be super effective in keeping the Archmage alive, and it looks like she's probably going to go down here just to by weight of numbers in single entity fights. Apotheosis comes in at the last second. We're also going to get a devastating Soul Stealer, which should finish the job. So yeah, the Sun Dragon runs in the other direction, and Archmage falls there. Pretty devastating loss for the High Elves. Let's see if they can sustain through that. A little bit of a breath attack into the Witch Elves on the ground, but they are blending through this infantry fight pretty quickly. The Sun Dragon makes it stand against the one Manticore, 1v2. Might do okay, but as soon as the Black Dragon Sorceress gets in there, things will definitely turn against it. And on the ground, the High Elves are also suffering pretty badly as well. So Strat Game just pushing aggressively, taking the damage and getting the good engagements he needs to win. Let's see. It's like the Dark Riders are moving in, juiced up on Murderous Prowess. And it's not looking great for the High Elves at all right now. The Sun Dragon did manage to finish the one Manticore, but yeah, looks like Maya's going to go ahead and throw in the towel there. So it was an interesting one. Definitely an interesting one. Kind of the classic High Elves versus Dark Elves up in the air. Dark Elves having more numbers, High Elves having more concentrated value. Unfortunately, just doesn't end up working out for them. The kind of distributed value here works quite well. And one of the Manticores and the Supreme Sorceress gets some really nice value. Kharens act more or less as a flying meat shield, which is just fine. And then the infantry fight trades well enough against the High Elves infantry. Again, more or less just kind of a wash, to be honest. What it seemed like, Dark Elves with a little bit of an advantage, but the superior numbers definitely helps them in that aspect. So let's get on to the next one. High Elves got it a bit rough. I think High Elves are actually very good in land battles, but that in particular is a tricky situation to be in. But Strat Game gets a point for Team BBB, gets them on the board. So let's update that score. Okay, and yep. Go ahead and update the factions as well. Oh, Vampire counts versus Dwarves. That's great. That's just fantastic. Should be a longer game, I would imagine. Oh, whoops. Spelled vampire counts wrong. Excellent. Yes. Belagar, Ironhammer. And 4 Slayers definitely makes sense. He's got 5 Thunderers, 3 Miners Blasting Charges, including the ROR, and some Warriors. Let's see for the other build. Can both factions lose? Let's go vampire counts. I actually haven't played Dwarfs much at all in this patch, only a couple of games, but they seem decent. I don't know. They seem like they're pretty much what they always have been, more or less. Just, you know, Thorek and lots of stuff, but I respect the pick of Belagar by Yumaze to not go with Thorek. Definitely a strong indication that he is a true Chad. Also got some Correlers here. Yeah, a couple of Dwarf Warriors. For the vampire counts, strat game, no holes barred, Blood Dragon, Vampire Lord. He does have a Mortis engine as well, Corpse Cart. He's got some Crypt Horrors, Vargheists, zombies, Skeleton Warriors. Yeah, pretty much just monsters and zombies. Secret Crypt Ghoul over on the side there. Heroes are definitely quite strong. Quite strong. Thorek is just very good, and I don't even necessarily think they should nerf Thorek. I don't know, maybe people disagree. I think they should probably just figure out ways of making the other lords more useful, like giving them abilities that are usable at range, but Elgar eating his salad here as he chews on that leaf. So let's see how this goes. No gyros or anything. The Slayers are in a nice defensive position. Nice overlapping fields of fire. But gonna be tough. This build by Strat Game is taking a really wide stance so he can get a full envelopment. That's not a balefire, is it? That'd be silly. Gotta be Unholy Lodestone. Yep. Yes, indeed. Vigor Mortis is still quite good, to be honest, but the tricky thing with going with a very spread build like this is that, yeah, these kind of blob-centric effects aren't going to be as strong, but obviously, you just use them wherever you can. Should be able to bog down those range units, no problem. So I'm not, if I'm in the vampire counts position, I'm not feeling too threatened by the handguns and Correlers. I feel like the Mortis engine, once those units are, you know, summon zombies, then hit by Crypt Horrors and various other things, you should be able to deal with them just fine. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, there's no artillery for the Crypt Ghouls to go after, which is definitely the reason why you bring them in this type of a vanguard situation. Get up and around, maybe sneak in. I don't know. I feel like artillery in general is a terrible idea against vampire counts, but what do I know? Just a silly YouTuber. Anyway. Belagar pushing forward. The terrain here is fairly broken up, so he's going to have to be careful. Yumaze is not to take this engagement in a position where his Thunderers are going to have a hard time shooting at anything. Like, it looks like he wants to get up and over this crest so he can maybe attack downhill here. If I were Strat Game, I would definitely try and contest that, and especially if you're fighting, like, around the hill. Like, let's say you have an engagement taking place here on the back side of the hill, with the Correlers being on the front side of the hill, like, they can't actually hit you, right? So, yeah, let's see. The Crypt Ghouls avoiding an engagement for the time being, but they also great for going after Slayers. Should trade very cost-effectively with the Slayers, so let's see. A little bit of picking initially from the Correlers onto these Crypt Horrors here. Should be able to regenerate through that damage just fine. Yeah, Umai is just kind of continuously shifting, shoring up his flank here with this. This is actually an impassable terrain feature here with this nice voluptuous elven lady statue here holding up the entire moon. Let's see. Yeah, Umai is, again, just patiently approaching, kind of overloading one side. Let's see if Strat Game then kind of closes the door and gets a full envelopment around this side. He also has forces to attack on the backside here, so yeah, this is kind of detached skeleton warrior here to try and move in and distract those slayers or something. I'm not sure, to be honest, but and it looks like the guns are now in a position at the top of the hill. They can fire over the heads of their stunted brethren. And I know, right? What a jerk move. Like, we need that for gravity and stuff. Anyway, yeah, mostly shooting is not crazy effective at this point. Also, blasting charges being eaten by zombies is fantastic for strat game. The blasting charges do flaming damage, and I would probably save them to try and blast the crypt horrors. Even though it's not super efficient, it is a nice damage source on them, but straight in the front line, the Blood Dragon's going to charge in. The flank overload also by the Vargeist comes in. One of them just gets absolutely destroyed by gunfire on the approach, but the other one is able to, actually both are able to land and get some fairly solid damage in. The Slayers also can't move to reinforce because, oh, the Crypt Ghouls, look at how cost effectively those Crypt Ghouls are trading with the Slayers, man. That is a pretty ideal scenario. So far, for strat game, things are going more or less exactly to plan. He's got Crypt Horrors now in the second level, bogging down some of those Corlers and Thunderers. So just as I said, the ranged component for the Dawi can be shut down, but can get back online as well. I mean, obviously that armor and defensive stats means they're not going to just fall over by any means, and these units... Did somebody eat a breath attack right there? That unit must have eaten something, but regardless, they do manage to... Oh, there's a breath attack right there, right in the middle of those Thunderers. Does a huge amount of damage to their blocky formation, but Thunderers are getting set on this left flank of the Dwarves and able to fire back in. Likewise, the Slayers eventually do beat the Crypt Horrors. Still an insanely cost-effective engagement for the little cudgel lads, but let's see how it goes. We're going to see a Helm of Discord from the Blood Dragon on this big pocket. Move in, try and finish off the Ekron's Miners. Crypt Horrors also just running away from these Dragonback Slayers. But Dwarfs' center of their formation has been completely broken already, and the Crypt Horrors in particular are going to be a huge problem. Since the Slayers have taken so much damage already from the Ghouls, it's not going to be hard for the Horrors to... I mean, they'll still take damage from the Slayers, and certainly, like this unit right here, is being torn apart pretty quickly. Let's see how it gets on. Dwarfs not out of this yet by any means. The Resolute and their high leadership will mean that they're going to continue fighting. We do have some missile troops also kind of getting free out on the side here. They're going to turn and focus on the Blood Dragon. The gun units in particular with their fast missile speed should do a great job of DPSing him down, even as he gets up in the air. But let's see here. Crypt Horrors are continuing to push through onto the second line, push those Thunderers away. The Dragonback Slayers have to break off pursuit of the one Crypt Horror to come stop up this other one, and more Crypt Horrors just being kind of pushed away from support, which is in and of itself a little bit dangerous, but they are able to keep up the pressure on those missile units of the Dwarfs, which is so important. The Dwarfs are holding out. A lot of the assault is starting to run out of steam. Vargeists are down. We're starting to see some Crypt Horrors go down too as well. That unit just pops due to their low leadership. So we'll see. I mean, the Slayers are definitely doing it right now. They're not giving up easily, despite the damage, early damage taken from those Crypt Horrors, which was really, or Ghouls rather, obviously really good. Blood Dragon also continuing to take damage. These Vargeists can't really hold back that unit of Corlers. This unit of Thunderers also not really distracted by the zombies, can still turn and fire. So the fact that the vampires get all broken up and like this corpse cart here, this unholy lodestone, I have no idea what it's doing, to be honest. But Yeah, Yumai's standing firm with the Dwarfs, pushing back the foul vampire counts, and it's looking okay right now. They initially looked pretty bad with all that disruption and everything. We do still have 2 units of Crypt Horrors quite healthy. We do still have the Blood Dragon himself quite healthy. It's not going to be the most pleasant of situations, but guns still unloading here. And the nice redeployment of the Dragonback Slayers to protect this unit of Thunderers from those Crypt Horrors. This Crypt Horror out here also arguably overchasing those Corlers, but definitely wanting to make sure they don't get back. I would probably move them in to try and collapse this unit of Thunderers right here. Dragonbacks and other Slayers zoning those Crypt Horrors quite nicely, but the Blood Dragon's having some problems right now. This breath attack, probably not going to do a lot. It did a pretty decent amount of damage, to be honest, but all that time he's taking waves of gunfire from the Thunderers, just in overlapping fields of fire. Beautiful Dwarven positioning here from Yumai's, and it looks like he's going to be able to take this game. Yeah, I'd imagine once the Blood Dragon goes down, that's going to force a lot of these units to start crumbling. Yeah, you can see the Mortis engine is already starting to be crumbled as well. Belegar just in there, absolute Chad that he is. Smashing the Mortis engine. You can see the Slayers also in a surround there. That is a very bad situation for the Mortis engine to be in. It's going to pop almost immediately, and I would imagine that might... I mean, technically army losses doesn't exist, but I guess you can have just cascading leadership issues. 1 unit of Crypt Horrors, though, is going to probably hold its leadership for the time being. We'll see. Zombies getting blammed by blasting charges. Thunderers somehow way over here also getting volleys on these Crypt Horrors. Oh, yeah. Love me some Dowie guns. Belegar is a great meme lord pick, too, honestly. True Chad, just like an all-around great stats infantry character. Doesn't really do a lot for you, but he's also not that expensive. Base cost. Yeah, I like Belegar. He's cool. He's got one of the coolest headdresses in the game, too, in my opinion. Which is saying something in a game full of cool headdresses. Actually, kind of one of the things that makes Warhammer Warhammer, if you stop and think about it, is the elaborate headdresses. But his, I guess not really a headdress, but like his little banner thing that he wears on his back here. Totally impractical, but very, very cool. And his helmet is legitimately awesome, must be said. Yeah, those Crypt Horrors going to try and maneuver away. Get a better engagement, but Slayers are not taking that easily. Few Slayers that do make it over here. You're going to have quite the fight as the Crypt Horrors try and defend the 1 cap. I mean, it's just, yeah, Strat Game's only hope at this point is just defend the 1 cap, but I don't think he'll be able to defend it long enough in time. And the thing is, you notice how, because the Slayers are actually contesting the objective, it doesn't accrue victory points, so the capture is not really that much of a factor, to be honest, in these modded battles. It's really just land battles with enforced rules, more or less, right? So, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. Yeah, the Slayers now in a full surround on the Crypt Horrors. Belegar got his hammer out. We've got bullets flying in above their heads. One of the big advantages of Dwarfs. Not even being ironic or joking here, but legitimately because they're short, their units are easy to shoot over. So, there's that. Yes, so nice game. 2 hated factions, but still nice to see the Dwarfs pull out a win. I don't know. Maybe that's my own personal hatred of undead, but I'd rather see Dwarfs win than Vampire Counts. Saying nothing of these players, both great guys, but Yumai is able to steal back a win there and bring the lead back up to 2 on the 3-1. Has some crazy value on some of those Thunderers, man. The fact that he was able to get them free from the rush, and like, yeah, I mean, I guess the Crypt Horrors, one of them ended up being cost effective, one of them did not, so a little bit of a mixed bag there, but let's go here to the next one. Just 1 second. Yeah, bear with me just 1 second, guys. I gotta make a real quick phone call, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I am returned. All right. Got Stingers versus Cool Umbrella now. Should be a good time. Let me go ahead and get their factions updated. Let's see here. So, Cool Umbrella's Team BBB. We got Skaven's is... Here we go. Unreal Ratmen. Definitely is the appropriate name for Skaven. Whoops. Okay. And we've got... yes. Kislev. Period. Very important. Okay. And... Alright, so... For Kislev, double Little Grom. Very interesting choice against Skaven. Got 4 Winged Lancers, 4 Armored Kossars, 4 Kossars, 2 Ossivite Dervishes, Light Cavalry, and 1 Ice Witch, of course. For Skaven, we've got Lord Skrulk, a couple of Jezzails, it looks like. See the rest when we get to it. Wow, interesting ground texture on this one. Very interesting. Yes. Okay, so let's check out the rest of the Skaven build here. I do see some... got some Triads here, some Clan Rat Spears. We've got Clan Rats here with shields, interesting. Some Skaven Slave Slingers. Skaven Slaves, of course. Rat Ogres, yeah, 2 Jezzails, including Natty Boo Boos. Packmaster, and 4 Rat Ogres. Packmaster, 4 Rat Ogres, I feel like it's just mandatory these days for Skaven with how the current meta works with high mass mobile units. Rat Ogres are just better than they've ever been, which is pretty good. I mean, they've always been essential for Skaven in many ways as their kind of single high mass mobility unit. Now, though, even more than before, they are critical to your success. So 4 in a Packmaster makes a lot of sense. I've been seeing a lot of that lately. Could even justify maybe taking some Molder single entities as well against Kislev. It's a little bit risky, but I don't know. I feel like you have the tools to kind of shoot their shooting, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We do have the 2 Little Groms here, which I feel are vulnerable to Jezzails, but they outrange the Jezzails. Of course, Natty Boobos with their stalk and snipe can't be spotted unless Kislev gets close. Let's see here. Ah, yes, one of my cats just showed up. Some attention. Oh, cute little thing. I have two cats, for those of you guys wondering. One is a giant fat fluff, who is, I mean, I call him a fat fluff. He's not actually that fat. He is a fluff. He's just a big boy, so he looks fat, but he's big. He's a big boy. And we have a little one, too, who is not as fluffy, but still adorable. He's a little older. And just so sweet. Except when she's grumpy. Anyway, enough about my cats. We will be seeing some cats here, no doubt. On Summon from the Ice Witch, Guardian's Call. No mount either, so just looking for max cost effectiveness. Interesting to see that Snowflake Pendant as well. Just popped immediately on match start to generate as much Winds of Magic early as possible. It looks like we've got Swift Wing. No, Death Frost. Interesting. I don't know how Death Frost is on cost effectiveness. I'm not that big of a fan, but we'll see. Ice Maiden's Kiss as well for AoE damage against Skaven. Definitely seems solid. But yeah, Death Frost. I guess we'll see how this goes on Skrolk. I don't know. It doesn't seem wildly effective to me, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Pig the cat. So no, the fat fluffs is called fluffs, actually, and that's I called him fluffs too much, so now he just responds to that. And the little one is Kiss Kiss. He's on my lap right now, and I would turn on my webcam for you to see, but I don't want to bother setting it up right now, so yeah. Anyway, Stingers is coming in here. He's got his build with a relatively wide stance. So far, little Grom's not shooting, just barely now coming within max range, and it does have the slope. Oh man, look at that hill shot. Takes a chunk out of multiple units there, bouncing off the ground. Very interesting. Shooting onto slopes can sometimes be a little bit weird, but it looks like right now this is probably going to be okay. Or at least that one little Grom to fire in. The other one, the slope is maybe too extreme. Yeah, so that one also kind of just hits the top of the slope there. So a little bit of an awkward angle to be firing in at, but Natty Bubos do move up, and they're going to start shooting the Winged Lancers. Interesting. Fluffs. Yes. Let's see. Little Grom still mostly missing shots. They probably are going to start firing, I would imagine, at the Jezzails. I also wouldn't be surprised for these Kossars to pull up and just focus fire on the Jezzails, but Little Grom definitely getting some damage in so far. Taking some damage in return. Yeah, nice hit on the non-ROR Jezzails there. And we've got the Winged Lancers moving in. They're just going to charge straight into the Clan Rats, I think. I mean, why not at this point? Clan Rats can't really do much to stop that. They do have the Triads in the near vicinity, but Clan Rats versus Kossars, the melee buffs to Kossars will help them significantly in a situation like this. And just look at the Winged Lancers, man. Let's get some nice cinematic shots of them just charging here into the Skaven. Yeah, all across the field here. Little Grom also firing in. Let's take a nice wide view once again. These Winged Lancers pulling away now. They are going to get charged by the Rat Ogres, though. That is an unfortunate situation. And the Triads also in a follow-up should be pretty devastating. But right now, the Rat Ogres are fairly well out of position. The Skaven kind of counter-melee rushed straight to the teeth of Kislev and are getting punished pretty heavily for it, although they are fighting back against a lot of the heavy cavalry units. We do see one Jezzail already has been routed, and the Proselyte Dervishes prowling in the back there. Stinger's very veteran move is going to chase down those Jezzails with that light cavalry. Also just kind of throws some Winged Lancers into the back line to rout off the Slingers. Here comes the Death Frost. I'm legitimately curious to watch its damage to see. I mean, tactically, because Skrolk doesn't have that much HP, it might actually be worth it on him, as is the case with a lot of Skaven Lords. Their HP tends to be very, very low, but interesting that the Kossars are already taking enough leadership damage to force Mired Blood. Rod of Corruption comes in. Yeah, I mean, it was like a quarter of his HP for quite a bit of Winds of Magic. I don't think that's worth it, personally, but I don't know. You guys, feel free to disagree if you disagree. Crossfire Dervishes, though, coming in for a nice rear charge, shutting down those Natty Boobos, and Winged Lancers regrouped to continue hitting the Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves and other low-tier units of the Skaven, as long as they can just avoid the Triads and the Rat Ogres for the time being. As long as enough Kislev ranged units survive, they should be able to shoot the Rat Ogres to death in the long run. But ooh, one little Grom straight up killed already. That is quite a bit of value down, and the other one's still alive out here in the distance, but not looking great at the moment. We do have the summon up. Frost Kitten summon is in here, and it looks like maybe another Death Frost, so Kislev's trying hard to snipe Skrolk right now. He is going to go ahead and summon up some more Clan Rats to try and bail himself out, but I love the green color scheme of Kislev here as well, personally. Brotherhood of the Bear, I believe, is this color scheme. Anyway, Skrolk is definitely going to get sniped here. One more Death Frost actually should finish him off. The question is, will it end up mattering? It certainly will impact the Skaven's leadership in a negative way. The Rat Ogres right now are still healthy enough, and the Packmaster could probably carry the leadership through the endgame as long as he doesn't take too much damage too quickly. I don't see a lot in Kislev's build that can burst him down besides Focus Fire, and missile units are broken up and damaged enough that I don't think it's actually that threatening right now, but we'll see. Little Grom still continuing to fire from downtown. This one's used up quite a bit of its ammunition. Let's check in on the value as well. Almost 1,000 damage value, so pretty good. It's on pace to pay for itself. Cavalry for Kislev just continuing to avoid. The Rat Ogres, interestingly, haven't got that much value in many cases because they haven't actually been able to get good engagements, but here they do somewhat rear charge Dervishes, but Stinger's just staying mobile, keeping those Kislev cavalry moving. Will it be enough? Oh, this is bad, though. Ice Witch gets cornered, surrounded by Clan Rats, and beaten down by the Packmaster in a huge hurry. She's going to panic cast a little bit of ice magic here. Try and keep herself alive. Dire Blood has kept her from routing, although she's likely to shatter after that drops. Her leadership is low enough. Skrolk moves in, gets just bodied by something. I guess cavalry. I don't know what actually threw him back there, but he's also low enough that, oh man, it's going to be tight. She actually just straight up dies to the Rod of Corruption there, which is pretty sad. But Skrolk also routes simultaneously, so things are looking very dicey for Kislev. They've kited these Rat Ogres around the whole time, but haven't actually done enough damage to them, I don't think, and especially with the Packmaster able to just heal, sustain the Rat Ogres through the endgame here. I think Cool Umbrella is going to be able to close this one out, but Stinger's definitely punching back hard, not going quietly into that good night. Now, who knows? He's going to get a little density of Cossars here bailed out because these Triads are in no match for them in melee. No, it looks like he decided to throw in the towel there, so interesting. Yeah, I mean, he did have a couple of healthy armored Cossars with some ammunition, but there's not a lot they can do against such reckless Rat Ogres, so Wool Umbrella getting BBB back closer to even, so let's go ahead and award that point there. So one closer to being tied. And let's see what they get their next faction picks locked in as. Yeah, very exciting game. Very fun one for sure. You guys are giving it their all. I definitely appreciate it. Ooh, we're going to see some more High Elves, Dark Elves action, perhaps? Perhaps. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, High Elves versus Dark Elves. Okay, lock it in. Fantastic. Sweet. Map? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been forgetting to update that map section pretty much every time, so... I don't even know what game we're on right now. I can math, though, right? We're on Game 6? Okay, Game 6. And this map is The altar. All right, and let's get straight to the builds. We've got, yeah, Archmage, 4 Lions, 4 War Lions, 5 Lion Infantry. Wild build. Very wild build. Would have expected Rahagor's Pride for one of them. I think it is worth the ROR increase to take Rahagor's Pride just for the chevrons and also for the debuff. But yeah, super interesting. We'll see what's on the Dark Elves side, but right off the bat, Quad Lions. It's a wild one for sure. Oh, I see. Yeah. I see. They're supposed to have changed the map, but they actually didn't. And see, I thought you cared about me. No, just kidding, obviously, but not a problem. Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine map. It's a large map. It's kind of like Peak Pass, but with less trees. In fact, did you, like, base this off of Peak Pass? Is that possible to do? Is, like, kind of copy a map and then make some alterations? Because it literally looks like Peak Pass, you know, change the background and you, like, remove a good portion of the trees, like serious deforestation of Peak Pass. I don't know. It is a little bit different, though, I guess. Peak Pass has a bigger slope in the center. So, yeah. I see the inspiration, though. Let's see Cool Umbrella's build here. So what can he do against such reckless lions? Morathi up in the sky. He's got Cold One Knights, Harpies in the air, Dark Riders with shields, Bleak Swords, Corsairs, Dark Riders. That's pretty much it. So it's a nice mix of melee. No ranged whatsoever, so full rush for Cool Umbrella. Straight to the teeth of the lions. Yeah, again, I do see, because one of the problems with Peak Pass is that direct line of fire artillery is almost completely useless because of the central slope. Like, this one, you know, you have a relatively open center, so that artillery can still be mildly useful with still having the high hill sides. And you can't full, you know, forest advance up the side here, but yeah, I definitely see some inspirations for sure. Well, look at this little, Lizardmen stuff going on over here as well. Skink that lives in this hovel is just at the top of the tower, just watching everything like, what are we doing, guys? Medieval 2 bangers, absolutely. Love me some Med 2 music. To be honest, I've tried streaming with other music and it's just not the same, you know? It's just not same. Let's see what they can do. It's quite a large map, so it'll take some time for them both to advance. Yeah, I don't know about the lions. I mean, if they're microed aggressively, they can be very strong, but I'm just a little bit worried. The Archmage of Death as well is an odd choice for sure. No healing for the lions, and just relying on Fate of Yuna and Spirit Leech. I mean, Spirit Leech, not going to do a ton against Morathi because she has spell resistance of 25%, so I don't love that pick here, but it should be fine. Sorry, Cat's just distracted me a little more. Yes. Let's see. So it looks like Cool Umbrella is kind of taking an advance to take this hilltop and then probably try and fight with a downhill slope. Stingers might try and just move in on the central objective and kind of await his advance so that he doesn't have to fight into much of an uphill slope. That'd probably be the smart thing to do. I mean, he does have a little bit of a ranged advantage. He could kind of lead with the Lothern Seaguard to a degree. But look at this. Morathi's just harvesting Power of Darkness on herself right now, utilizing that spell resistance to generate extra winds of magic, right? You get extra magic from life leeching, and Power of Darkness also gives you a significant amount of extra reserves, plus power recharge, so you can, you know, recharge that reserves in a swift manner. Along with Arcane Conduit, will allow her to accrue quite a bit of extra winds of magic, and then obviously she can just heal off that damage with Soul Stealer. It is risky play, but it can be, I should say, risky play. Here, it seems like a relatively safe thing to do. There's not any air threats here to pressure Morathi. Some archers, you know, to fire up in the sky, potentially focus fire on her, but not a lot. So let's see. I mean, Spirit Leech again can threaten. It will be negated somewhat. Still will do some damage, but looks like Stingers is coming forward to employ said spell. Yeah, the Archmage moving in to try and Spirit Leech, but gotta be careful. Morathi can definitely just swoop down in an instant and whack the Archmage with her halberd and sword. Try and send her packing. Let's see here. Lions also forward a little bit. Don't really want them trading against the Dark Riders. It's going to be pretty inefficient, but there's the Spirit Leech. It's probably going to do about as much damage as the Power of Darkness did, so... I mean, I guess it is technically damage, and given enough time, it would probably tell, but I don't know that that's worth it with the Spirit Leech on the spell resistance. I might even try and move in and Spirit Leech these Cold One Knights, to be honest. That's probably going to be a better option. They're one of the main threats to the Lions, I would say, so... Okay, Lions are coming forward. Gonna see a quick hit and run in the front line, looks like. But why not? I mean, the cavalry are not in a position to punish this, so... Yeah, Lions, really nice charge. Pretty good damage. Nothing crazy, but certainly a nice little disruption, and then immediately pull away. That's the key, is to not stay in sustained combat, because they will just die. So... yeah, nice little hit and run there. Kind of disrupts the advance of the Dark Elves to a degree. Dark Riders also kind of overblob in to try and counteract that. The Cold One Knights are still hanging back in a reserve position for now, but this infantry fight is getting underway a little bit of a weird way. I'm not really sure about the targeting of the High Elf infantry charges. It looks like they're going to eat a charge right there, too, on those Lions from the Dark Riders, which is a very, very bad situation, but... Soul Stealer there in the center does manage to hit a couple of War Lions, Lion Infantry, the Archmage herself, Spirit Leech in response on Morathi, so just kind of fighting a magical fight right now. And the Dark Riders actually having some leadership issues as the Lothern Seaguard focus fire on them. Very interesting. Black Ark Corsairs, though, getting back and getting at the Lothern Seaguard. Nice little response here from the War Lions. To rear charge the Corsairs. Harpy's going to move in for another wave on the Dark Elves side, and both players just investing heavily here. But the High Elves are trading pretty well, actually. The Lions are doing a good job, despite having taken some charges there by, like, the Dark Riders. They're doing a really good job of not staying put in one engagement for too long. Morathi also, I'm not sure what's happening here. If she's intended to dive the Archmage, perhaps to snipe her. Realize, you know, there's plenty of Lothern Seaguard and other supporting troops around, could be tough, but one War Lion's also done, and a huge power spike for the Dark Elves with Murderous Prowess active. Let's see if these Cold One Knights can take advantage. We're going to try and get in here, and yeah, I'm not really sure. It looks like they're actually going after the Lions. Yeah, I think they have an attack order on these this unit of War Lions here. So far we've got 2 Lions shut down. One more is fairly healthy over on this far side, and I've lost track. Oh yeah, there's a 4th one here. It's also quite healthy. Morathi also gets surrounded by Lothern Seaguard. Those Cold One Knights do some damage, but they also are fairly flimsy, so they break pretty easily, and they're going to run away. Morathi's able to extricate herself from the Lothern Seaguard, and great pick here. These Dark Riders are able to get a surround on the Archmage here, but that's going to open them up to a rear charge by these War Lions. Will definitely bail her out and rout them off. So yeah, both players punching hard right now, and it's certainly still anyone's game, but the Lions have been fairly effective. I'm pretty impressed so far, but here, this is a good engagement for these Cold One Knights. Spirit Leech in kind of a final act. Let's see, the Archmage may be able to actually escape here if the War Lions... Yeah, the charge of the Cold One Knights got way messed up, and they just straight up did not get a charge there on those onto those War Lions. And now Marathi's going to have to pop a Soul Sealer in response. Great screening here with the Lothern Sea Guard. Get them supporting the War Lions in this engagement against the Cold One Knights, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. I think with the Soul Sealer, it's probably going to be enough to finish off the Archmage and finish off the War Lions' leadership. That's going to swing things back in Dark Elves' favor, so it was looking real good for Stingers there for a minute, but a decisive defeat of his leadership and the finishing of the last Lions there will lead to his defeat, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't see any more mobile Lions left. The magic pick is just so odd to me. I definitely think if he had taken more traditional, like, Lore of Life to heal the Lions, just Earth Blood, the blobs of them whenever they multi-charge a unit, definitely could have pulled this out. I mean, the Spirit Leech damage on Morathi was pretty inefficient, to be honest. Even, like, Lore of Shadows, you know, Melkos on the Cold One Knights probably would have helped swing things, you know, just literally any other magic. I do think Stingers was ultimately let down by his choice of magic there, but yeah, I don't know. I really like the army, actually, other than the magic, as I said. Lions were able to do pretty well, though, honestly. I mean, I guess don't quite pay for themselves, but tactically it was quite impressive, and it was nearly enough to break the Dark Elves. Yeah, it's an interesting one. The Cold One Knights, the one unit ended up being pretty cost-effective and getting some good engagements, but it's tricky, you know, they are quite flimsy. The Dark Riders also did a pretty good job with that Murderous Prowess active especially, but GG indeed. So that is going to take the score back to fully even, as yeah, Cool Umbrella is able to clean his matchup there. Not 33, just 3. Let's go ahead and get to the next game. Bear with me just 1 second. We'll get to it. Okay, here we are back. We've got Gojira versus Tactical Lich. Greenskins versus Ogre Kingdoms. Should be an absolute blast. So let me quickly update this here. Yes, indeed. Looking like some fine builds for sure. I see some Man-Eaters. That's always a good time. Azag, of course, for the Greenskins. Okay. Yeah, Azag the Slaughterer, definitely a solid choice right now, for sure. GG's indeed. All right, now we're here, and we're in the clear, as we've got Gojira playing green skins. Always a good time. He's got a front line of Gobos. Got Azag's actually on foot. Very interesting choice. He's got a Bob and a Gob. He's got a Bob and a Gob. Bob and Gob sounds like a terrible radio show, to be honest. We've got Forest Goblin Spider Riders, Orc Boarboy Biggins, Stone Trolls, Black Orcs, Ragnarok Spider. It's just kind of a grab bag of greenskins units. Again, no missiles. Pretty much all melee focused. As for Tactical Liches, Ogres, we've got Slaughtermasters, we've got 2 Lead Belchers, 2 Man-Eaters Great Weapons, some Bulls out to the side, loads of Noblars, 4 Trappers, 4 Regulars, and some Saber Tusks in the back, 4 of them. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay, just checking here. All right. Oh yes, Foot Azag is pretty cheap, honestly. Can be extremely cost effective. He gets good damage from Spirit Leech. He's also got Aspect of Dread Knight for some tactical terror bombs. Would be pretty nice. On the Ogre side, interesting to see. I mean, I guess they have Massacre for terror, which definitely will be quite effective if it's used correctly, but they don't have any innately terror-causing units. Yeah, we'll see. I really like the Man-Eaters here. I don't see a lot in Gojira's build that can threaten the Man-Eaters. I mean, like, maybe the Spider with more support, but that's quite a bit of cost. I think it's a bad matchup for Greenskins. That's interesting. Yeah, their anti-large is not fantastic, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on that take. We'll see. Biggins are certainly not what they once were. Take a lot of damage in return for how expensive they are in this matchup, but Azag's going to try and get it done. We've got Bob here, we've got some Stone Trolls. I might actually try and tech heavily into the Stone Trolls, but it seems like they also get out-traded pretty badly by Man-Eaters. Yeah, I don't know. I just have to stop and think about this matchup a little bit. What would I do here? I'd probably take Flying Azag first of all to just fly around. Cackle up in the sky, get some tactical terror routes, get some Spirit Leeches. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, Borbiggin's definitely solid for sure. I'd probably go 4 Borbiggins, Azag, and then kind of go from there, maybe? I don't know. The spider seems really appealing too, to be honest, the big single entity spider, but it also seems like maybe a trap piece if it gets killed by crushers. Like, actually stop and think about, Tactical Lich didn't bring any crushers here, but like, what do greenskins actually do against crushers now that I stop and think about it? Yep, looks like we've got some Lead Belchers opening up. Goblins are very efficiently playing catch with their faces. Totally fine. Means the Board Boy Biggins can get out on the flank there. Biggins are a trap because they die to Ogre Bulls. Yeah, their defense is too low. They just take too much damage for sure. Let's see here. Looks like the Bulls are going to be countercharging in on the Spider Riders that were deployed here. The Gobos also getting a little bit overblobbed. The Black Orcs just getting absolutely blasted by Lead Belchers right now. Tactical Lich not really using a lot of his mobility, kind of playing back with it right now, but it looks like the Man-Eaters are going to be deployed to try and take out those boar biggins. Yeah, this big central blob here. Look at how much damage those bulls take. Wow, that is quite impressive. Those black orcs are getting absolutely savage, but yeah, here also, like Noblars and Trappers able to beat back one unit of goblins. So trading very cost effectively so far. Tactical Lich pretty nice lead initially on army damage value, but let's see. Spiders coming in a little bit late. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is going, to be honest, for Gojira. He did punch straight through the center, but he ran straight into some man-eaters who are now absolutely destroying those stone trolls. Goblins are trying to follow up, do their best to attack the Ragnarok here. It's able to get on those lead belters, maybe could be fairly effective, but yeah, the cavalry fight's going badly. Man-eaters just straight up out-traded the Boar Boy Biggins super hard, so not a great situation, but Azag's still trying to push through, do his best. Got some Spirit Leech here on the Man-Eaters, probably. Yeah, Spirit Leech on the Man-Eaters. The Spider moves into the central blob now. And the single entities for the Greenskins are still quite healthy, which is definitely a little bit of a silver lining here. And they have been able to clean up some of the bulls. The Man-Eaters are still very threatening. Lead Belters are basically untouched at this point, so it's not looking great. Triple Stone Trolls, 8 Cavalry, and Wurzag, and a bunch of chaff. Makes sense. The Stone Trolls definitely seem solid, even if they do get killed in melee by certain things. Just seems like that they're just, yeah. Monstrous Infantry meta is very real. And I would say for the Greenskins, Monstrous Infantry plus Cavalry definitely seems like a very strong pick in quite a few engagements. But look at this. Orc Boar Boy Biggins are able to get through, get on those lead belters, and decisively defeat one unit. That is going to kind of bring things back a little bit here. Azag and Bob are also grinding in this frontline engagement. Unfortunately, the Ragnarok got shredded by Man-Eaters there, and the Noblar Trappers also unloading quite a bit of ammunition, so not looking great on that front, but the Boar Biggins, at the very least, are able to clean up some lead belchers in the back line. Spider Rider is also kind of just maneuvering here, looking for avenues to attack, but it's not looking great. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Stone Trolls don't take chip damage from Trappers. Yeah. Also, the mass blocking is very nice if you want to try and protect some units from getting completely smashed by Ogre mass. Super important. Definitely. I mean, Ogres don't really have... I mean, I guess they have lower fire, right? Spell damage from, like, fireballs and stuff. Not super common, but I could see Flaming Sword of Ruin here, maybe, actually. Help counteract Stone Trolls from the Ogre side. Let's see. Azag's going to continue fighting here with Bob and the Spider. They got another Spirit Leech on these heal-capped Man-Eaters. The Cavalry has been pretty much all defeated, though. And Lead Belters are continuing to unload on the Spider, which is definitely causing it some problems. Let's see, though. I'm curious just the value on Bob here. Yeah, I really didn't do much, to be honest, but... neither did Azag, unfortunately. I don't know, I feel like Azag on the ground just doesn't offer a ton of utility. I mean, he has spells, but he's an okay combatant. Let's see here. They're trying to grind it out with these Man-Eaters, with the characters. But even if they were to defeat the Man-Eaters, I'm not sure what hope Gojira has left of victory here. You can net the caster and pin it with a troll unit that has Fists of Gork. Yeah, definitely Wurzag for sure. Utility and potentially punishing mistakes, because Ogres are one of those factions that can definitely recover from mistakes relatively easily. Leadership is a bit brittle, but it's not as bad as some other factions, and the healing capacity on their elites is just insane. So... yeah, it's I guess that kind of a burst scenario would really just depend on if you can actually break the Crushers and then chase them off, right? But yeah, definitely effigy to get seems like a very good tool for punishing For sure, and ogres don't have that strong of Lord Snipe tools. Oh, excuse me, just gotta do a little stretch here. Yeah, ogres don't have that strong of Lord Snipe tools, so I would imagine that the Warzag's reasonably safe here. Not at too much risk of getting sniped, but look at this character squad just continuing to grind through these man-eaters. I mean, I say look at them. Not even up close on them right now, but Grimgor or Riot. Grimgor doesn't... I don't feel like he does a lot. Excuse me, a lot for you here. He'll kill stuff in melee, I guess, but... yeah, Tactical Lich definitely got this one in the bag. Brain Burster for Trappas, Fist of Gork, and here we go. Try and swing important engagements. Makes a lot of sense. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I love the Slaughtermaster moving in to fight Azag in melee. Azag is a pretty big boy, honestly, but so is Bob. Bob is pretty close to the size of an ogre. He's not quite an ogre, but he's pretty close. Oh yeah, Tactical's absolutely got this in the bag. Yeah, Gob's about to go. Bob's probably not far behind, especially if Azag gives up the ghost here. Cool, cool. Just checking some messages on the side here as we wait for this end game to play out. Aspect of Dread Knight, yeah, Koji's gonna mercifully throw in the towel there as Azag was just about to rout, so it's tough, real tough, but definitely good builds on both sides. I mean, I don't like the Black Orcs really here. I would definitely swap them out for Stone Trolls, but I guess the Stone Trolls were fairly limited as well. Definitely quad Biggins. I see what you're saying with like quad boar Biggins, like 3 Stone Trolls and then auxiliary support. But reject Crushers, embrace Man-Eaters. I really like Man-Eaters in certain situations. They're very good here. Seems like Lead Belcher's also got some nice value. It was just a good day all around for the Ogres in terms of cost effectiveness. Really a good showcase of a lot of their units. So Tactical Lich gonna pull another point for... Ooh, that's been misaligned the whole time. Another point for BBB, putting them for the first time in the lead today against the team Multi-Cheese. Let's see what they got for their next one. I'm already seeing an Empire banner for Tactical Lich. Empire is best. Yes, it's true. I'm sorry for those of you who are not in agreement with that, but let's see what Gojira does with his pick. Noblars are amazing. They're definitely fantastic chaff units. The 200 cost ones are just amazing. They're so good. Honestly, I might put them at the number 2 chaff. If I were to do a tier list of true meat shields, Noblars are up there. Probably it's zombies number 1, of course, because it has to be zombies number 1. I mean, what else is it going to be? I'd probably put Noblars at number 2. If we're talking units in the range of 100 to 200 points, Noblars I would definitely include there. I'd probably put Goblin Laborers at number 3, maybe? And then... I mean, I guess if you include Slingers, Skaven Slaves have a really good argument for being number 2 or number 3, though. So it's interesting to kind of think about those different very low tier chaff units. What do you guys think? Best meat shield unit in the game. Peasant mobs are pretty good too, but they're just, they're not credible. You can do some funny stuff with them with like Shield of Thorns, but Nurglings are 350 cost, though. I don't know if I would class them as a true meat shield. They're more of like a low-tier infantry, I would say. We're talking 200 cost and below. I would even exclude Orc Laborers from that conversation because they're all the way at 300 points. Again, they're more like, cost-wise, like a low-tier infantry, even though stats-wise they're basically a meat shield with AP, right? But yeah, Skaven Slaves, due to their weapon variety, I'd probably actually put at number 2. Noblars are just so good, though. I'd probably put Noblars at number 3, and then Goblin Laborers at number 4. Speaking of Goblin Laborers, for the first time today, we've got Chaos Dwarfs, so better put them in here real quick for Gojiro's faction. Fantastic. So, Astra Chad. It's been a while since I've seen Astra Chad. I haven't been playing much Chaos Dwarfs recently, to be honest, but he is here in all of his neutron star glory, literally the densest matter known to the universe. We've got Gordas as well, double magma cannon. So, Goji's going all in on the nasties, it looks like. He's probably got some bulls. Yeah, 2 bull great weapons, couple of sneaky gits, blazing beards, goblin cutthroats, Oglakons, Wolf Boys, and some Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, with, of course, Laborers up front. Ooh, yes. Yes. Tactical Lich, you are my hero. Officially, the Sunmaker is here in the desert to explode every single Chaos Dwarf that ever dared to poke his head above ground. We've got a great cannon as well. Amethyst Wizard, Witch Hunter. I love this pick, actually. This accusation debuff is super strong versus, can you guess? Bulls, that's right. It removes armor, melee defense, and missile resistance from the bulls, so they're much easier for huntsmen to kill. So we've got some huntsmen here. We've got some Empire Knights out on the flank to protect, give some mass. Plenty of state troop swords and spears. I love this Empire play right here. Yeah, the Witch Hunter as a counterpick to bulls with huntsmen in tandem. I mean, there's only 2 huntsmen, which is pretty thin, but it definitely is a viable counter for sure. Gordas gets a wolf. Yeah, you didn't know that? Gordas definitely gets a wolf. He's super cheap on it, too. If Gordas on the wolf with no abilities, it's like 500 points. It's nuts. Yeah, vampire pirate mobs are very good too for low-tier infantry, but I would definitely consider them low-tier infantry and not true chaff, because they are, you know, 300, 400 points, as you said. 400 cost halberds are great, though. Bertonia also has pretty cheap halberds as well, but they're not as good. They're pretty decent, actually, especially now with cheaper, excuse me, I just had to... It's getting a little sweaty in here, so, yes, that's true, Shiggy Diggy. Most missiles will not hit them correctly. So, Huntsmen, though, I think archers have that problem generally less. I think it's gunpowder units that tend to have the most problems, or direct line of fires like skink blowpipes, for example, right? They tend to have the most problems against bulls. But I think archers, especially if they're firing in an arc, should still hit them. But let's see. Both sides here kind of facing off, excuse me, with their artillery. The magma cannons definitely 2v1 can outtrade the Empire cannon, but the Sunmaker is going to be unloading its ammunition the entire time, so yeah, cheap halberds feel pretty strong in the current meta. Absolutely cool umbrella, given the prevalence of monstrous infantry and heavy cavalry now. Definitely, I am enjoying this patch quite a bit because of that, especially the cavalry, but yeah. Shadow Warriors miss at long range. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. Witch Hunters are squishy. Yeah, maybe the cost reduction makes it worth it. I think so. I mean, how much is a Witch Hunter with just accusation? It's not very much, is it? I mean, the Witch Hunter's damage is also okay. Especially if he can get out on a flank and, like, shoot into some infantry, like, through the side. Can definitely do some very solid damage. But here comes the Magma Cannon. Gonna open up and immediately start to nuke the Empire infantry. The cannon, of course, will respond, the Great Cannon of the Empire, and the rockets for the Empire are already opening up. Ooh, the Blazing Beards. Their fire resistance will help them a bit against the Sunmaker. It actually does deal fire damage, but not going to do that much. And unfortunately, the Empire cannons shooting on a slope are going to have major accuracy issues, I think. We'll see if they're able to actually... Yeah, they're getting some hits on the Magma Cannon, but it's not very consistent, and the Magma Cannon returning fire can easily dispatch the Great Cannon, no problem, so it's not a good artillery trade, and in fact, if I were Gojira, I might have just hung back, kept the important, expensive units out of the range of the rockets for the time being, and just utilize those Magma Cannons to try and force the Empire up the hill into you, because as you can see, the Magma Cannons actually can outtrade a single cannon, no problem. You really need multiple cannons, preferably with some chevrons to give them better accuracy and fire rate. But anyway, Spirit Leech on Astro Chad. He's got a lot of HP to try and Spirit Leech through, but certainly you got to get started somewhere. And the Sneaky Gits moving in. Looks like they've thrown their daggers already. Gordas might be trying to get in here to assassinate the Witch Hunter, perhaps, but let's see how the Empire responds. Right now, Empire Knights are maybe going to try and... Yeah, they should just stay tight to the Huntsmen, make sure they don't get charged by those Hobgoblin Cavalry. But, oh man. Oh boy. Boris taking a risky dive. I understand going after the Magma Cannon, trying to take him out, but here comes Astro Chad and Bull Centaur Renders. If Tactical Lich is not careful, he's going to get caught on the ground here. It does look like Astro Chad's going to be able to catch up to him. And with the charge speed, I'm not sure Boris is going to be able to get away, so kind of keep that in the background. Granted, Boris is leading away like, you know, several thousand points worth of value from the Chaos Dwarfs. And that means in the front line, this engagement might go much better for the Empire. Gordas is attempting to assassinate the Amethyst Wizard here. Empire Knights are doing their best to try and screen him away, get some weird charges on these Hobgoblins, but with the Empire Knights away, the Hobgoblins will play. And the Cav charging in there into the Huntsmen. It's tough. The Huntsmen are definitely needed in order to kill the Bull Centaurs, but right now, Boris is still just trying to escape, just full Benny Hill situation here as he is caught out by the Bull Centaurs and Astrogoth, but they don't have a good surround. He could actually continue to retreat there. Oh, over here, this is bad. Bull Centaurs just getting full charge. I mean, granted, it is through the woods, so it's not as bad as it could be, but should be able to cut through those Empire Knights in relatively short order. But let's see, the Witch Hunter's nearby. We've still got some Huntsmen alive, so definitely could focus here once they notice that situation. But let's see what else is happening. A little bit of Spirit Leech there on Gordas. And the Empire Cannon crew really come back from route somewhere. That's kind of hilarious, to be honest. The Magma Cannons are all online as well. Boris was able to get away from the mobile squad of the Chaos Dwarfs, so Gojira's kind of just pulling back his mobility. Really should just work from the Magma Cannons for the time being and not really try and pressure too hard the Empire forward. But oh man, Gordas, the Oglacon's Wolf Boys rather, they're going to get in here and shut down the Sunmaker. Didn't have much ammunition left anyway, but it is definitely tactically super important to take out. Poor Gordas though gets Spirit Leeched and killed by Boris, just straight up shattered. Well, he is not coming back anytime soon. Huntsman here really need to turn and fire. I don't know if there's an accusation on cooldown, or off cooldown, rather. He did actually bring the accusation, though, so if he has it, now would definitely be the time. Looks like the Huntsmen are actually focused the wrong way. They're shooting instead at Oglacon's Wolf Boys and the other Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, so they're going to now get charged by the Bull Centaurs. They're forced to kind of pull away there. Reorganize with some spears. Gojira's looking pretty good right now. He's got a lot of army damage value on Tactical Lich's army here, and those Magma Cannons still being online is just absolutely devastating. So let's see Boris if he's able to pull this out, get his Huntsmen set and firing here. A little bit of accusation action on these Bull Centaurs. Would love to see it, but so far has not been forthcoming. That Magma Cannon could have got a lot nastier of a hit, but in fact it did not. Here comes the accusation now. Is going to lower their armor and their melee defense. Oh no, Doom and Darkness. Okay, so lowering their leadership, trying to get Terror out, or I guess, not really sure. But the rockets do get back online. They get a little bit of a shot there. I'm not sure exactly what they're targeting. Are they targeting actually Astrogoth? It's going to be... They just did some nasty friendly fire to those swordsmen. That's definitely bad. But Gojira was able to clean up a lot of the threats to his Bull Centaurs. And so now in this late game, there's not a lot to really threaten them. Looks like this one unit of Bulls is going to get kind of eaten up here, but not before they're able to accrue some very good value. Yeah, 2,000 damage value on them. Almost 300 on this other unit here, so... Gojira definitely utilizing the strong units from Chaos Dwarfs to their best effect. Really smart with his target priority too, and threat assessment, making sure he takes out what he needs to when he needs to. Witch Hunter is still technically here. Probably hasn't got... Yeah, it's barely got 130 value in himself in all that fighting, but... Was the accusation worth it? Probably not. It's a Chad pick for sure, but unfortunately just didn't have the volume of Huntsmen to really capitalize, and I don't know, it's just a weird matchup for the Empire, to be honest. Chaos Dwarfs can do a lot better than you, so... Yeah, Astrogoth, Bull Centaurs, Magma Cannons alone make Chaos Dwarfs top tier. I would probably agree. They're definitely overtuned, must be said, but... There it is. Gojira's going to punch back and make sure this contest stays exactly even so far. So what a scrap. I'm glad it's even. And not happy to see Empire lose, but it is what it is. Sunmaker ends up paying for itself. The rest of the build, though, I mean, the Huntsmen actually weren't quite able to do what they needed to. Also, the Great Cannon just gets straight up hard out-traded. It's tough, you know. I have some thoughts, but... Anyway, we'll move on. Swordsmen here, and the Empire State troops generally don't trade wildly cost-effectively here. For the Chaos Dwarf side, of course, Magma Cannons didn't even actually get that much value. It's just tactically the pressure they apply is a lot. A lot of the damage came from literally one Bull Centaur, and then also Oglacon's Wolf Boys and the other Wolf Riders in the back line chasing those squishy units. So... yeah, now we are going to go to the 2v2. So there was a 2v2 played already. Let's get to the replay here. And we've got Kislev Norska versus Ogres and Nurgle back on the Altar of Champion map here. And we'll go ahead and just do this. Of Norska, and over here we've got Ogre Kingdoms, Nurgle. Right? Is that right? I think I actually got that wrong, but anyway. Yes, so here for Kislev and for, yes, for Kislev and for Norska. Let's take a look at the builds real quick. We've got Skin Wolves here through the center, Wolfric the Wanderer, Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, plenty of Marauders with some Hunters, some Marauder Spears even, and are these just regular Skin Wolves? Probably definitely the most cost-effective. I would imagine that it is. And then for Kislev, we've got some Crossfied Dervishes here, Kossars, double Little Grom, and Kossar Spears. More Kossars, some Streltsy in the back, and Frost Maiden of Ice, Oath Brothers, and Kostalton leading the way. Very interesting choice. We've also got some Crossfied Dervishes in a Vanguard scouting position forward for Nurgle Ogre Kingdoms. Looks like Demon Prince of Nurgle leading the way. Nurglings up front. We've got Forsaken, Toads, Sky Strider, Crushers, some Man-Eaters, great weapons as well. Slaughtermaster, Barons of the Bog, Crushers, some Saber-Tusk Pack, some more Man-Eaters, great weapons. Yeah, triple Man-Eaters, great weapons. Pretty serious. Looks like there's some Exalted Plague Bearers as well through the center. So, pretty good stuff. Let's just, let's see how they get on here. So, the 2v2 is worth 1.5 points. So let's see. It could end up being the tiebreaker, that half point. I'll make a note of that, but... Could see a big engagement develop here in the woods, and that's one situation where the Skin Wolves in particular are going to shine. They have Strider, which means they do not suffer debuffs from being in the woods as other large units do, so it's actually pretty smart for them to take this engagement. And cats versus dogs in this situation here, the cats absolutely win. It looks like they also got a Frostblades or Ursun's Roar, actually increasing the charge bonus of those Skin Wolves and other units. From Kostalton, they're able to absolutely annihilate those Sabertusk pack in a big hurry. I don't know about charging the Crushers in there either. I think that's actually an engagement that the Kislev Norskin Alliance would be more than happy to take, to be honest, in the woods. With the Skin Wolves and the Oath Brothers in tandem, that's a lot of value. A lot of nasty anti-large damage for sure. So, check back in on this massive main line. We've got these two little Groms firing on Toads, it looks like. Yeah, just chewing models off the Toads. Might focus them on the Barons of the Bog, or, yeah, on the Crushers, Sky Striders, as kind of the most expensive units on the field. You could also fire at these Man-Eaters, which are pretty far in the distance still, and plenty of time to get solid damage on them. But all these Crushers, they're getting into the Oath Brothers, and the rest of the cavalry going to move in for support. Will the Norskins respond with the Skin Wolves in time? It looks like Sabertusk's moving in. Also got a big mainline engagement getting underway. Toads and Nurglings in the front line against Marauders and Kossars. Should be more than enough. Looks like actually some Marauder Champs here in the center, which will actually be quite a tanky unit and will be able to resist this fight just fine. Are these all Marauder Champs, to be honest? Wow, what chads. Absolute chads, just taking Marauder Champs, truly. So yeah, the Kossars are going to fire in. We've got Streltsy moving forward, having some line of sight issues, but do get in a position to get some devastating volleys into those Toads and Nurglings. Check back in on this big pitched cavalry fight over here. It looks like the Skin Wolves actually got routed there, and it's a final chance mutation on the side of Norska. Yeah, Norska casted that, I believe. That's going to hit all of these units. Fleshy Abundance in response from the Demon Prince is going to try and keep them all topped up, and it looks like this engagement goes horribly badly for Kislev Norskin Alliance as more Man-Eaters and Crushers and just a huge amount of value piles in for the big boy Chungus Alliance. Little Groms, though, going to continue to fire, get some value off those Man-Eaters, great weapons. Wulfric also in the center here, and on his right flank, Skin Wolves and other units able to fairly decisively defeat the Thick Boy Alliance. Let's see here. Marauder Javelins staying set. And yeah, that entire area here is just completely killed. And the fact that Kostaltine was lost in that engagement as well is pretty bad. I mean, it's not going to be a complete disaster. Hopefully Wulfric will be able to shore things up, but he probably had a lot of potential healing still to output. So it is pretty painful, it must be said. But Wulfric's Wolf Squad is continuing to just eat units up here. This is Exalted Plaguebearer fully surrounded, losing. They are tanking, though, it must be said. Streltsy also trying to get a clean avenue to fire, probably on the Demon Prince, I would imagine. It's going to be the target priority for sure for Kislev and Norska for the javelins and the guns and everything else. Looks like a Fleshy Abundance is going to be cast on him, but look at the javelins raining in from Norskins. That is going to be very, very devastating. Not a lot of armor on the Demon Prince, so it's definitely eating that damage just straight to the face. Ice Wolves also being sacrificed against Crushers. It's never a good time. Crusher's armor actually does help them quite a bit against the non-AP damage of the Skin Wolves, but let's see here if this advance can be repelled. We've got the champs in here holding the line for the time being. Hopefully they can hold long enough and do enough damage so that the Skin Wolves can come in and clean up that engagement. Wulfric also, hopefully some lore of boats still left in his back pocket. That said, the Chungus Alliance has a lot of life left as well. The Demon Prince of Nurgle, Crushers backing him up. Ooh, just absolutely dodged that cannon shot right there. Norskins and Kislev quickly reorganizing to face this new threat developing from the forest. ROR Sky Striders eat a Troll Guts. Quite a bit of overhealing there, to be honest, as they are pretty much already heal capped, but still, definitely want to get them heal capped. Let's see if they can get sufficiently surrounded. Wulfric also moves in with Hunter of Champions, try and finish off that Demon Prince. Quite a bold engagement for him to take, but I definitely understand there's a final transmutation as well, right on this pocket of Crushers right here, would be completely devastating. Would probably seal the game for the Northern Alliance, but will it blend? No, but will it continue? Let's see here. The Crushers are doing a great job. The magic damage of the Sky Striders, they have magic damage, right? Yeah, magic damage cuts through the physical resistance of the Skin Wolves like it's nothing, but oh, nasty shots from Little Groms just raining downtown all over those Crushers, and one unit actually gets routed by that. Javelins and the Streltsy also helping to support here. Streltsy kind of waddling into melee as gun units often do because of their line of sight issues, but at least they have axes and can fight with armor piercing and melee. And it does look like the Sky Striders are going to go down here. Meanwhile, Wulfric is still dueling the Demon Prince. Demon Prince is just about heal capped, but Wulfric's starting to take some serious damage, so he's going to go back and screen through the Skin Wolves as they move in here. Again, lack of armor on the Demon Prince of Nurgle does mean the Skin Wolves' attacks are going to do quite a bit of damage, not to mention the javelins and the guns nearby to assist. So it's looking pretty good. We're going to see another final transmutation. Wasn't quite ready on that Crusher pocket before, but still comes in here and just devastates the Man-Eaters, Barons of the Bog. It's going to hit the Demon Prince a little bit. Yeah, I think it was actually casted on the Barons of the Bog specifically. Also going to hit the Slaughtermaster here as well. There's the Lore of Boats, cuts through and doesn't quite finish off the Marauders and the Noblars, but getting pretty close. But Wulfric also getting pounded here by the Demon Prince. The leadership situation is shaky for the Northern Alliance here, as Kostaltyn was, of course, already killed. And if Wulfric goes down here, that is going to lead to General loss debuff, but we'll see. Maybe he's going to be able to get away here. He does also get one more Hunter of Champions right before he gets terrified. That will help debuff the Nurgle Demon Prince a little bit, help his other troops trade effectively, but the Overwatch fire from all these Streltsy and Kossars at this point, I think it's going to be quite potent. I mean, there are still some very healthy Man-Eaters here in the back, though, that, yeah, they have a lot of HP left. Going to be tough to deal with them. Taking a little wide view of things here. Marauder Spears chasing off those Sky Striders is fantastic. Got more Crushers coming back to roost, though, and the Barons of the Bog also still fighting. A nasty Dismember is going to lead Wulfric to getting killed by Man-Eaters, most likely. Let's see if he's able to effectively screen or if he just straight up dies here. The Marauders are rushing to his aid, but yeah, those champs, Marauder champs, living up to their name, just absolute champs here, as they are fighting tooth and nail against all these giant, scary monsters. Marauder Spears also moving in now for a little bit of anti-large damage. Nice hammer and anvil infantry tactics. Yes, Man-Eater's great weapons are pretty good. Their lack of armor is tough. That's one of the reasons I think why Crushers are so much more popular, is obviously due to their armor. But Man-Eaters can still be very effective in melee, certainly, and arguably more effective in kind of a sustained grinding melee fight, as long as they're not against high damage non-AP units. Anyway, yeah, Little Grom's still got ammunition, which is quite impressive. Also got the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal running back over to the field here. The Demon Prince fighting. Charging Little Grom. Little Grom just kind of tanking the damage for now, allowing itself to be an anvil for the hammering missiles to fire in. Kossars using their bows. Streltsy trying to use their guns. And if the Barons can get finished off here, Northern Alliance is going to be looking pretty good. Wulfric is still trying to escape from the Man-Eaters, so we'll keep that in the background as he continues to run around there. But the Barons are just about out of steam. Shaman Sorcerer is also breaking and shattering some of these Noblar units out in the distance, which is just fantastic. One spear coming back from chasing off the Sky Striders, coming back to threaten these Crushers, which are currently skinning the last of those wolves. Ooh, is this another final transmutation? Yep, just single casted on the Demon Prince, but I definitely understand to try and finish him off at this point. I might even focus him with Little Grom, but ooh, Little Grom does take a chunk. It just snipes the rider off of that Crusher. Look at that. The Rhinox is just like, peace out. See you later, guys. Very impressive shot, to be honest. But another Hunter of Champions from Wulfric, as he is still alive. He's managed to make it back to supporting troops, be able to screen those nasty Man-Eaters that he led on a wild goose chase. And then, of course, Hunter of Champions will allow those champions to grind through Demon Prince. He's got 0 armor with that active and significantly debuffed melee defense. Once it drops, he'll be much more tanky, but Little Grom firing at point blank as well should be able to get some hits on him. Maybe hit the other Little Grom, unfortunately, but yeah, it's looking very good for Northern Alliance at this point. Team Chungus is definitely running out of steam. Yeah, I actually think I got the factions backwards, but that's fine. That's fine.
This was not meant to be.
Let's see. I mean, the Demon Prince still has quite a bit left. Maybe if he's able to get a big terror out, but the champs, I think, are honestly too much at this point. I think their leadership is probably too high, and I don't think that the Demon Prince can actually kill them in melee. So, especially with the sort of the mass of the Little Groms, the fact the Little Groms can also continue shooting as well if the Demon Prince were to try to cycle charge. Let's see here. Ooh, swing and a miss there on that shot. That was actually the last one for that Little Grom, so it's now going to have to be used as a melee kind of blocker piece. Thankfully, the other Little Grom does still have ammunition. Let's see, firing in, another swing and a miss. Come on, guys, you're killing me. Absolutely killing me. 2 more shots here, so let's get in on cinematic cam and see. A couple of Kossar arrows raining in. This poor wizard. Ooh. Does that count as a hit? Did that just pass through his wing and technically not count as a hit? I think so. Anyway. As this is a replay, we can fast forward a little bit through this endgame as the Nurgle Demon Prince wastes the last of the ammunition. It's gonna get to heal on Marauders. You know things are desperate when you're casting Fleshy Abundance on some Marauders. But let's see. He's going to maybe try and charge in and snipe Wolfric, perhaps. But I think that the Northern Alliance has enough ammunition that he probably just dies at this point. Yeah, he's going to get debuffed by Hunter of Champions, lose out on his leadership, and that should be game over. So Demon Prince of Nurgle did a great job overall, but still... Oh, no, there's still... What is left? There's something left? Oh, there's 1 unit of Crushers here. Okay, so not quite over, but yes. I mean, they were able to pretty decisively win that engagement in the woods on the side. It did take a long time, though, so I don't know. I think the delay might have been enough to kind of swing things. It's hard to say. It was definitely super close there at the end, and I think small things on all sides could have changed it. But overall, I have to hand it to the Northern Alliance here. Little Groms definitely MVPs for Kislev. The Streltsy also were able to get some really good value. And then for Rusty here, yeah, insane value on the Shaman Sorcerer. Just Violent Transmutation is probably the best spell in the game right now, in my opinion. Just due to the way the meta is shaking out. Champs, also fantastic unit. Skinwolves, largely trading, super cost effective. And then the Javelins, too, reap some really nice value. Yeah, the Crushers get some insane value. Maneater's Great Weapons, not so much. Only one ends up paying for themselves. The Sabertusks also a little bit of a mixed bag. One of them does great, the other ones do not. Noblar's super cost effective. Cool Umbrella's Nurgle. Nurgle Demon Prince is quickly becoming one of the best lords in the game for me, I think. It's just so strong in so many ways. Barons of the Bog, also quite good. The rest of the build, I mean, yeah, Sorceress can do all right. The Toads are kind of a fail, to be honest. They just probably get killed by Javelins mostly. The Marauders trade okay, though. So, interesting. Very, very interesting. So, we're going to award a point to Team Cheese, even though I totally got the scoreboard backwards there in terms of the alignments. And then I'm going to put a little plus here to indicate that they got the half point from the 2v2 as well. So, we'll award that. And let's move on now. I believe the next lobby is ready. Maybe not quite, but bear with me just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, all right. This is the last series. We've got El Chef versus Flying Taco, and I think we're just waiting on Flying Taco right now, so it might be a little bit of time, but yeah, this is the series, guys. El Chef needs to win both games in order to take home the win on the day. For BBB, right now it's super close, still within reach, but El Chef does need to win both games, and he's up against Flying Taco, who is a very strong player. Yeah, definitely, I would say probably the best dual threat player right now in the game, in terms of being extremely proficient in both domination and land battles. I'd probably say Flying Taco is the best dual threat player right now in the game, but that's just my own personal opinion. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Domination is a mode where you take a Skaven slave as your lord and unsummon it every single time. That's what domination is. I shouldn't take shots like that, but I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. It is true, though. I mean, that's not a lie. You do literally take the cheapest unit on your roster and immediately unsummon it, but anyway, I thought they were loading in. Here. Oh, okay, they are loading in. Nope. Taco's making some last-minute adjustments. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm really hopeful that we can get that Lord Unsummoned cheese removed in the next Domination update, but I'm not too enthusiastic about that possibility. That is the real question. That's the real question, Autumn Chan. Why can you even have a Skaven slave as your lord? That's why can you not only take a lord as your lord? That's the real question, and I think that's honestly the real solution too. Is just, I know it sounds crazy, but requiring your lord to be a lord, that's gonna be pretty wild. I mean, you're still gonna have people taking the cheapest possible lord, unsummoning them, and, you know, just cheesing that way, but maybe you just shouldn't be able to unsummon your lord at all. I don't know. I can't really think of a good, elegant solution to that problem, to be honest, but yeah, today's about land battles with caps, because that's what we all wanted all along, so here we are, and El Chef coming in with the Dark Elves. Let's see here. Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic up in the sky. He's got Scourge Chariots back and better than ever. We got some Dark Riders as well, and Reaper Bolt Thrower, Blackguard in the back. Excuse me, Dark Shards and Bleak Swords. Yeah, Dread Spears on the flank. I love this. We've got a little Vanguard action out here with some Chameleons. Chameleon Stalkers even. And then for the rest... Excuse me. And then for the rest of the build here, we've got Lord Mazdamundi. We've got Court of Waddle. Looks like some Feral Cold Ones rank. 4 Feral Cold Ones. Very interesting. Some Cold One Spear Riders. Double Ancient Salamander. Skink Cohorts and Chameleons. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, 4 Chameleons. I know Flying Taco is a huge fan of the Ancient Salamanders, so I'm a little bit worried for El Chef here, having been on the receiving end of pain from Flying Taco's Ancient Salamanders. We'll see. I mean, the Bolt Thrower is definitely going to help things out a little bit here, I think, but Yeah, tactical itch, I agree, but land battles are the essence of Total War, in my opinion. They always have been and always will be, and rather than trying to compete on things where they lack and other RTS games are strong, I think Total War would be better served to stick to its strengths and what makes it unique and distinct from other RTS games, because there's no base building aspect in real-time battles. There's no variable resource generation. It's all fairly basic, to be honest, in comparison to something like an Age of Empires or dedicated, you know, RTS in that manner. But anyway, that's a whole soapbox we don't need to get into right now, but this is what we all want to see, so let's focus on that for the time being. Taco right now just skirmishing forward a little bit. He's going to be taking some pot shots, and I would imagine kiting pretty heavily here, which can be tricky, but the bolt throwers are going to open up right away on that Ancient Sally, and Taco is immediately able to mostly dodge. At the extreme end of the range of the bolt thrower, it gets easier and easier to dodge, right? And the accuracy gets less, so I'd probably actually move the bolt thrower forward a little bit. As it is right now, though, the Ancient Salamander is already going to start taking some shots from the Ancient Salamanders, which are pretty effective. I mean, it's not quite a magma cannon, but it's not that far off. It's like a magma cannon with speed, and very squishy, but taking some shots already from the bolt throwers. The Scourge Runner Chariots also are going to be a nice counter here as they skirmish forward. I probably would have gone heavy in the Scourge Runner Chariots, to be honest, as is traditional in this build, but oof, yeah, wow, that bolt thrower shot way out of range. Still was able to land a hit there. The Croxigores also, Quarter Quaddle, seemed quite threatening at this point, but let's see. The Skink cohorts are going to be deployed here. The Cohort of Quaddle are kind of just mirroring right now the Supreme Sorceress. Very smart of Taco to keep this high-value, high-impact unit available to just smash the dragon should it come down for an attack. Punish that overextension. Let's see the kite, though. Yeah, the Skinks definitely have superior speed. You see them come forward to throw their javelins and then pull back. This is going to be a lot of micro for Taco, though. Let's see if he's up to the task. The bolt throwers are continuing to fire in. They're not really doing much damage to anything important. Sally, though, is taking some hits. Ooh, beautiful side shot in there. And then look at that withering fire from the javelins and the blowpipes and everything else. Yeah, so far, it's actually fairly even in terms of value trade, which is interesting to me. I guess the low-tier chaff of the Dark Elves with their silver shields is great for just absorbing this damage to a large degree, but they need to make sure they keep important units online in order to keep fighting. So, nice breath attack on Mazdamundi is not going to do too much. Breath attacks do count as missile attacks, so Mazdamundi's missile resistance will apply there and negate quite a bit of that damage. 50% missile resistance is fairly serious. So let's see, Skinks counterattacking in a couple of specific places to push back some Dread infantry. Chameleons, though, definitely taking some damage. I'm surprised, actually, how much damage they took from those Dark Shards. But here comes the Supreme Sorceress. Is she going to make a dive on this Ancient Salamander? It looks like she is. Oof, it's risky, though. We've got Cold One Spear Riders in the area, and they're going to be able to collapse and hopefully keep her pinned on the ground. Little apotheosis to keep Ancient Sally topped up. Yeah, also procs overcast damage from Thorek. That's hilarious. I guess it does count as a magic missile spell then, technically, as far as the game coding goes. But, ooh, Blackguards are going to come forward, and they're now subjected to the shooting of the Ancient Salamanders. So, although Taco's technically taken a little bit less damage, the fact that he has healing to sustain a lot of his units through the damage that he is taking is going to be fairly impactful. Also, the Chameleon Stalkers are now in a position to get on that Reaper Bolt Thrower and shut it down. The Dark Riders are far enough away that they're not going to be able to protect efficiently. That said, Taco's cavalry are getting completely destroyed on this side by the Dark Shards. Focus firing, Apotheosis, not going to be able to save them as the Chameleons and other Skinks try to kite away. Got to make sure the Cohort of Quaddle don't get shot up either there. Ooh, a little hiccup there. Did we crash? Someone crash? Just a big lag spike? Oh, oh no. Oh no. Hopefully no one dropped. Did freeze hard for a minute there. Are we good? Oh, my game just hard crashed. That's great. Oh, that's just fantastic. Ugh. I have to say, the stability on this patch has not been very good. Yeah. Definitely stability is not an all-time low in Warhammer, which is unfortunate, but let's see. Let's see what we can do here. That was tough, man. Yeah, intermission, exactly. Okay, so let's get back in. That was a really good game so far. For sure, I'm disappointed. No, I think Taco confirmed he crashed as well, so... Let's see. Let's see what they decide. Hang on just 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, guys, bear with me just 1 second. I'm going to put on some music while you figure this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I am in. And what we decided is Elchef, it looks like, was fine to just take... Yeah, well, I think we'll just go to the next match, honestly. And... yeah, let's just see... Let's see if Elchef is able to win this one. So, yeah, we're just going to go to the next match. It looks like Elchef is fine to just not replay it. So, Taco's also fine with that decision, so... So, yes, we're going to be going to the final game now. Ogres versus Slaanesh. Nurgle. Interesting. Chaos Dwarfs. Bretonia. Tomb Kings. Cycling through the factions right now. Okay, well, we'll go here. We'll go. Yes, Ogres, my lord. And it looks like he's going to settle on Tomb Kings. Interesting. Yeah, let's see if Chef wins. If Chef wins this one, then I think we'll probably replay it, but let's just see. I mean, Chef was potentially willing to concede and just move on to the next one, but for the sake of the event, I mean, for the drama of it, right, I would want BBB to have a chance to win, so, yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's see if this game makes the difference. Because obviously it's very possible that Taco could just win. I'm also just showing his build here, I realized. Yeah, let's see if Taco can win this. And if Chef wins, then we'll address it from there. All right, respond to a text real quick. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Oh, it switched to Khorne. Okay, throwing me for a loop. I was going to say Tomb Kings versus Ogres is not good. But Khorne, on the other hand, fantastic. So let's get to it. All right, all right. So Cheese Team is members of RTK, XMT. It's a mix of different peeps. You know, we've got Yumeis from RTK, Gojira. That's, I think, yeah, Gojira and Flying Taco are both XMT. Stingers is also RTK. Central Scrutinizer is I don't remember, but yeah. So it's a mixed mercenary group versus BBB. Not strictly a clan war, but similar format. Anyway, let's talk about... Let's talk about... No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about Ogres. We've got Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, plenty of Noblars. Looks like 3 Man-Eaters. No, Iron Guts. Very interesting choice. 1 Man-Eater Great Weapon, 2 Iron Guts, some Bulls. We've got the 2 Lead Belchers. Yeah, Regiment of Renown Crushers and the Saber Tusk pack for Khorne. We're going to have Khorne Forsaken? What? Khorne Forsaken? You hardly ever see these guys, mostly because they don't get a lot of benefit for being a Khornate unit. They already had Frenzy, so yeah, they just get less melee defense. I think they're a little bit cheaper. They also get some extra armor, right? Anyway, yeah, 3 of them. Got 2 halberds, 3 minotaurs. Great weapons. Valkia up in the sky. And some warhounds and fleshhounds. Yep, 2 on each flank. Actually, 2 fleshhounds here, and then the warhound and flesh out on the big open space. So let's see how this goes. Definitely like a lot of aspects of the Khorne build. It's obvious to take quite a bit of anti-large. Is he DBD? I don't know. Yes, Gojira has, like myself, been associated with XMT at times. Or QSA. But anyway, let's see how this goes. Taco, standing resolute. Lead belchers. Yeah, plus 15 armor makes them at least not actively worse than unmarked. It's true, but I still think the melee defense, I think I'd rather have the melee defense than the armor. That's why Nurgle Forsaken are the best, because they have extra HP and melee defense and poison. It's just fantastic, to be honest. But let's see, and maybe maybe they trade well into bulls or something. I could see them maybe trading well into bulls, honestly, despite their low melee defense. I mean, 63 attack is pretty potent. There's 63 weapon strength, rather. Jeez, come on, guys. Yes. Anyway. Let's see here. Taco's gonna take a nice patient approaching stance. Not wanting to attack directly uphill. And also wants to make sure his lead belchers have nice lines of fire, I would imagine. Let's see here. Let's see here. Look at this little candle. I mean, I say little candle. It is actually quite massive, but... Oof, yeah. Whatever grail she's holding there is full of something. Anyway. Yeah, Chef is just very patiently kind of biding his time here, advancing technically on the objective, yes, but... Eventually, the lead belchers are going to force him to come off of his high ground position, but for the time being, he's content to just sit back. I would imagine the lead belchers are going to focus on the halberds or the Forsaken. It's tricky to know which, because the Forsaken have less HP and less models overall, so the damage you could do could actually break the unit probably easier than with the halberds. But anyway, let's see how they do. The Crushers are going to come forward and take the objective real quick. Not any range to threaten them, obviously. Lead Belchers also don't have anyone within range yet, but it looks like the Forsaken and Halberds are going to come forward.
It is secured. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nice volleys from those lead belchers, just smashing the Chaos Warriors. But, oof, this is such a serious Khorne rush build. It's about to make impact, so let's get in close here. Noblars are pulling back, not wanting to get eviscerated by Forsaken. Looks like the Crushers are charging in the front line, straight into some Forsaken. Looks like they're going to get rear charged, though, by Minotaurs. That's not what they want. They're going to go ahead and pull away there, get a little bit of Troll Guts, and then maybe, honestly, counterattack back into the Minotaurs. But it looks like he's trying to pull the Minotaurs far out of position. And then here, Saber-Tusks miss their charge. No, they do actually get the charge there on the Fleshhounds. And with Bulls supporting, that should be a fairly effective engagement. Noblar Trappers also focus firing on the Minotaurs. I mean, no question... No surprise, I should say. The Noblars get eaten up very, very quickly and rounded off, but how much will it end up mattering right now? Iron Guts are holding out okay. Their AP is doing just fine, and the focus from the Crushers and from the Trappers here. The Trappers are doing a great job of getting damage on the Minotaurs. This unit is actually almost routed already. Crushers should be able to come in and finish them off. That other unit is a severe threat as well. This other side is not going as poorly for Khorne, but the Ogres are absorbing their impact very well so far. The Saber-Tusk pack here getting in on those Flesh Hounds, getting some really nice damage in that counterattack situation, but the Ogres have got to be careful not to get drawn out of their own position here as the counterattack from the counterattack to the counterattack, obviously. For Khorne here, moving in with the Halberds and with these Minotaurs is definitely getting some damage. Those Iron Guts are suffering pretty badly, but let's check in. Where are the Man-Eaters here? Man-Eaters are actually fighting Minotaurs, which is pretty ideal. And Taco so far has taken a pretty decent lead on army damage value, but let's see. Valkia is going to move in and attempt to assassinate the Slaughtermaster once again. Crushers are moving in for a screen here, but the Leadbelters are kind of caught up against this little Shrine of the Lady here, where they're getting in melee with Forsaken. Not a comfortable situation for them at all, but still should be okay. We've got some more Khorne units coming back from route as well, and it's one Iron Gut being routed off. So yeah, Khorne definitely not going quietly into that good night. They're definitely punching back hard. Managed to regain some army damage value there. Let's see if they can hold their leadership together. The Forsaken continuing the pursuit of Noblars, eating up those poor little trappers there. That said, Man-Eaters, great weapons. I'd probably actually rear charge them with the second Minotaur right now. Try and go 2v1 with these Minotaurs. Maybe bring in this Forsaken for some support as well. But the Leadbelters really haven't been able to get set and fire too much besides that initial phase. Used maybe a quarter of their ammunition so far. But the Minotaurs have just been continuing to push through and apply pressure. Yeah, the other Minotaur does actually rear charge there, but the one Leadbelter able to get extricated finally does open fire on them. So engagement will probably turn against them, especially with the rear charging Saber-Tusk pack there. But Halberds are continuing to push, and Valkia's relentlessly pursuing that Slaughtermaster, very likely to finish him off soon. Let's see. Getting close and watch her as she gets her attacks. He is desperately trying to escape. Some Khorne Hounds are also in here, trapping him up, though. Oh, and Valky's animations are so cool. Will there be enough Leadbelters to kill the Halberds? That's kind of the key at this point for Chef, is to try and finish off the Leadbelters. He's going to detach these two wounded Minotaurs. Wounded as they are, they still have the mobility to pressure this backline. So this one unit of Leadbelters is going to turn and fire. Will they be able to finish off the Minos before they get in combat here? Let's see. Oof, they do get some hits, which is actually enough to kill some unit models straight up. Oh, but the Sword of Khorne lands. Doesn't really do much, to be honest. It's mostly just for show. But the Crushers are able to get in here and counteract that. Shut down the Minotaur's great weapons. Looking pretty good for Taco here. So, I mean, all this talk about the match that was, crashed is all well and good, but ultimately Taco can silence that discussion just by winning outright here, which it looks like he's going to. We'll see. Valkia is obviously still alive and reasonably healthy, but just the Iron Guts do have an anti-infantry bonus. They can get a good surround on Valkia and kind of beat her down. Obviously, there's still the Crushers alive. The Slaughtermaster is also still alive, kind of reforming a little pocket of units here. Man-Eater's great weapons did get killed off for the most part, but one of them, Absolute Chad, is still alive. So, yeah, forming up on the objective to make sure they hold that down just in case it gets into a caps situation. I don't think it will, but Iron Guts moving in here against the Khorne Forsaken. Let's watch this engagement play out. I love the Iron Guts animations with their giant two-handed swords. It's so cool. Oh, everything went all quiet all of a sudden. That was weird. Will they actually try and pull away? Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and pull back. I don't think they even need to. I think they could probably just stand and fight and kill those Forsaken, but anyway. Oof, yeah, the Leadbelcher is still alive, just raining death all over those Chaos Halberds, dying a terrible death, like you said, yeah. Yep. So there it is. Sky Striders Oh, man. Such beautiful brutality. There it is. Chef's gonna throw in the towel, and Flying Taco will seal the win for Team Cheese. And a great showing by both sides, honestly. We had a lot of really fun games, great back and forth. And, yeah, GG's to all indeed. I'm glad it came down to the end, too. It came down to the final 2 games here. And Flying Taco going to go ahead and pop one more point on there. It is unfortunately insurmountable, so there's no reason to replay the first game where we had a crash. So that's going to be it for today, coming in at just about 3 hours on the stream. It's actually perfect for me. It's a pretty perfect length, all things considered. So yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Thank you so much to you Maze and for inviting me to do this, and of course you Maze and Gojira and all the map makers for creating this excellent mod for us to enjoy land battles. Thanks to all the BBB lads and everyone else who played today and made this such an enjoyable experience. Thank you all so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.